It's Craig's fault we're late. Not really. Hi everybody, welcome to Google Plus Week, an unofficial look at the world's coolest social network. We're a bit late tonight. I was going to blame Craig Shipp, but it's actually not Craig's. It's not entirely Craig Shipp's fault. Bruce Turner, welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to be able to be here.
And good to have you. We have Alan Furstenberg in New York. Welcome, Alan.
Hi, Dan.
We have, let's see, we have Craig Shipp in Maryland.
Howdy, and you might want to cut real quick to Bruce one more time. That's an example of good lighting.
Craig, he's trolling us before topic one. That's
Yes.
a new record. Jody Raines is here.
Greetings from New Jersey.
Welcome. I don't know
Thank
how
you.
Craig manages to.
That's
get
good
all these
lighting,
hotties
too.
in. We have two hotties in our little sausage factory show. Good to have you both. Okay, Michael Banks
Hello.
is here. Welcome, Michael, in Augusta, Georgia. He has several beverages lined up and snacks off camera.
And on camera.
And on camera. Michael Ellis is here.
Hello, everyone from New York.
He's ready to go.
I'm always ready with a glass of wine.
Many accessories. We have.
And boy, do we need that glass of wine.
Yeah. Pam Adger's here. Pam, is it wine or beer tonight?
Oh, beer. I don't drink
It's
wine.
always beer. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we got? What brand? What percentage?
It's Moa Brewing Company from New Zealand, and it's a breakfast beer. It's actually a fruit beer. It's my
breakfast
first fruit
beer. Oh my
Breakfast
god.
beer.
Oh
Nice.
my god. We're at
It's
the
a
Hofbrau
fruit
house.
beer.
It's a breakfast beer right in the train station or the Hopbahnhof.
The name of it, it's called breakfast.
Excellent. Start your day right.
That's
I
right.
like that.
With special brew. Says Special K. Sarik is let's see here. Sarik is that his chair and his blinds?
Yeah,
Nice
that's
blinds.
his chair, and he's not there yet.
A little-
Shriek is looking good tonight.
A little
A little darker there, I remember.
Indian wall decoration there. Tis the season. Excellent. Okay, so good for him and his wonderful, very loud children and very patient wife. So, okay, so next up is our first topic. Oh my God, I think I'm still.
Yeah, it's going to be a long night, folks.
Yeah, at least I've pants and a shirt on. I managed that somehow. Okay, so for our first topic is a true ratings bonanza. Obviously, we're going to have to fill out these topics a little bit in the next few minutes. More photo updates, new auto awesomeness, and I swear to God, Alan, the first time I had auto awesome was this week, and I was uploading pictures and I thought that it was still uploading stuff, and I was waiting and waiting. So I hadn't quite figured it out. But tell us what is new about what is new and awesome about Google's auto awesome.
New auto awesomeness. Basically, what a lot of people know about the auto gifify features of auto awesomeness, where it'll take 5 pictures, and really, Dan, I hope you're focused on me right now. It'll take 5 pictures, put them together into a GIF. What a lot of people forget is there are a lot of other parts behind Auto Awesome. So it will take pictures and try to clean them up. So pictures that you've uploaded that are too dark, it'll try to lighten them. Pictures that kind of seem to be off tone, it'll try to clean up the color a little bit. So as part of that, they've introduced 5 new features tied into that. The first is that if you upload photos that are a little dark, it'll try to illuminate just the faces in them. Another one is that if you see, for example, in snowboarding pictures or heavy snow pictures, a lot of photos tend to look a little blue. It's going to try to reduce the blueness and provide a more natural set of colors by default. Similar to the illuminating faces, it will identify shadowy pictures or shadowy portions of your pictures and try to lighten up those shadows just a little bit. This is particularly in landscape photos. Where
Like if Sarik or or Mike Ellis were a photo. Shadowy, dark. Sorry, I interrupted your thing. You don't have to start over.
That's
do you?
okay.
You don't have to start over, do you? Like a stewardess, if you interrupt her speech.
So the exits are that way. It's going to selectively brighten night scenes. So it'll try to identify where the main focus is, and again, brighten the entire scene, keeping a focus on the primary person. And then finally, it's going to be focusing on the things that are skin tones. So hopefully it will identify faces, identify people, and try to use what it knows are fairly common skin tones to adjust what the rest of the scene is going to look like.
Well, without being too stupid about this, how will it know the difference really between Jody's skin tone and Michael's skin tone, for example?
That's called magic.
It's awesome.
No, there is
I hear
actually there is a large field of computing called computational photography, and these are the questions that they raise: is how do you accurately identify what a person's skin tone is, and how do you adjust the rest of the scene to do that? So I'm not going to be the first one. I'm not going to come out and say that they get it right or perfect, but it is going to try to use some of these cues, and presumably it'll use good pictures of a person that it can identify as well to help figure out what the correct skin tone for that person is, and then adjust the entire scene to it.
Let me ask you this question. Was Panorama also part of this most recent Auto Awesomeness? Because I had somebody tell me they had taken some pictures and it automatically created a panorama for them.
Panorama was one of the original Auto Awesome features.
Okay.
And yes, I love doing that. It's a great way. I will take 2 or 3 shots in a row on glass and have it stitch them together for me automatically. So yeah, I take advantage of that a lot.
So
There's a lot of neat stuff that the Auto Awesome package can do and does do. And in the case of these cleanup features, for the lucky few who actually are able to use the new photo editor, you're able to then tweak those settings just a little bit further even.
So I put a link in the chat, which unfortunately the viewers can't see, but Google bought Nik Software, and they made plugins for things like Lightroom and so forth, and I think we're starting to see some of the benefits of that acquisition.
Absolutely. I mean, clearly the first set of Auto Awesome stuff was done by the Nik Software team. I was watching a hangout where they interviewed one of the team members last week, and they were showing, in addition to what the editor was doing, which is very clearly Nik Software's Snapseed, they were showing some of their other software and how they all dovetailed together. So I got a slightly better idea on where they were going with this whole thing. But yes, clearly that team is doing some very, very neat computational photography stuff.
I have to say, I was a skeptic when they first started talking about this, partly because I'm really very tired of the word awesome. But apart from that, I have enjoyed some of the recent photography changes that when I upload, because I'm not a great photographer, don't even want to be, but when I upload a picture and the faces it turns out that particular picture, the faces are darker than I'd like them to be, I have noticed that it makes the change for me, and it really is quite nice.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like about it a lot is it lets me. I can't always recover a bad photo. A bad photo is always going to be a bad photo.
Right.
But it helps me save good photos that I did a bad job on.
Now, one thing I think we should point out is that these are all JPEGs, and you have a limited amount of range with JPEG images, so we shouldn't expect really magic. I mean, we should expect they have some latitude where they can make some adjustments, but if you really want to be able to do more in the way of adjustments, you should still be shooting in RAW, because that's going to give you a lot more latitude in an editing program, to fix a photo that didn't go right in the camera.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised to see that they were converting RAW directly to JPEG to do this work. Excuse me.
I didn't even know. Can you actually upload RAW images to Google+?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I didn't know
I
that.
believe when you upload it, it converts it to JPEG immediately. But it may, I think the last time I tested it, it did that, but it wouldn't surprise me if you could upload RAW and it kept it on there as RAW, but did all of its editing in something else.
So does it actually store the raw image for you?
I don't remember anymore.
I was under the impression no, though, Craig, from things I've seen.
Actually, I need to step back, and I do know that under the policy where it scales everything to 2048, it doesn't. It definitely doesn't do that. But if you're uploading a full-size photo, it may save the full-size photo. I don't know.
Be interesting to test that. Take a
Yeah,
raw
remind
file.
me, and I will try to test that.
How would you find out?
Well, you just take a raw file and upload it, and then see if later you can download it.
And then it's the same size, or
Yeah, see if it's still the same file. Sure.
See if it's a raw file still at all.
sorry, guys, I'm an idiot about this. Does that mean that the format changes, or the size of the number of bytes changes, or the resolution that you can identify somehow?
The resolution won't
Changes.
change, but what will change, for example, is a raw file has a lot more bits and information than any of the processed files that we use, and I'm
Okay.
glossing over 1,000,000,001 details.
That's enough to leave out for me.
Right, but it contains a lot more information.
Okay.
Something like JPEG, which is probably the most common thing these days, not only loses some of that information, it loses some of the picture. It's what's called a lossy compression format. So if you compress a JPEG file enough, you really start losing visual. It starts looking visually different,
Mm-hmm.
not just losing some information that you could use. So photographers, when they like to do all of their work, they like to use it in as raw format as possible because there's additional information that a good photo editor can work with.
Okay.
And the raw file, generally speaking, isn't compressed at all. It is what it is, and you can work with it all you want, and you still have what you have in that raw file. Whereas a JPEG, each time you do something to it, if I edit it and then I send it to you, and then you do something to it, and then somebody else takes it, and then they do something, each time it degrades.
Oh, okay.
If you look at some of the really, really bad files that have text on them, and the graphic files that have text,
Mhm.
and it looks like there's just some weird coloring going on around the text and some weird pixelization, and you don't really know what's going on, that's because it's been through a JPEG converter way too many times. Bruce, what comment do you have for us?
Yeah, Michael Daniel has asked the question, do people really use the Auto Awesome? And I would answer for myself, I use it all the time. In fact, I can count on one hand the number of times I've changed it back to its original format. Auto Awesome has worked really, really great for me. That's been my experience.
Yeah,
Well,
I
don't they
have.
make a duplicate? You don't lose the photo. They just make a duplicate, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I just test this out. I dropped the DNG into Google Plus, and it uploaded the DNG. You can see the file name. It says DNG. Then I click on more and download it again, and it spit out the same DNG. So it can upload raw files. Once you download it, it's still a raw file, but it does eat up your space. Because I mean, my raw file takes up space, and I have it to not downsize it, so it keeps all the same dimensions, and it is taking up some space. It's taking up, like, this one picture is taking up 16 megabytes.
And Michael, that's in Google Plus, or
Yes.
is that the same as Picasa?
You can use Picasa to upload it to Google Plus, and there's an option in the upload.
Or a TIFF or something that's a bit bigger than a JPEG, and make some adjustments or whatever, and then save it. Will it save an additional copy or that same copy in a smaller file? Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay, yes. Anytime you edit a photo and you save it, if you share it, it makes a copy. Only when you share it will it make a copy. If you edit it, it will keep all your edits in the same original photo.
So your 16 megabyte raw photo, if you liked what Google did to it, and you saved it as a JPEG, which is a lot smaller, right? Or you cropped it and saved it as a JPEG or something like that, then it won't keep your raw and your JPEG, right?
So here is the photo I uploaded real quick, and I mean I just made it vintage, so I'm done editing. So saving the changes. So what's your
I
question?
think
If I
it's
share it or if
original.
this
I think the
image right
original.
here?
I think
So
the
if you
original's
change it from RAW to JPEG,
See,
Can
right
you
now
do
it's still a
that?
DNG.
so you can't change the file type.
I think now this is what
I think the
what
original
happened.
is still
Once I
there,
share it-
Pam.
Yeah, the original is still there. Original is always there. I think once I share it, this may change it.
Hey, Michael, real quick, you're saying DNG, is that a Nikon?
DNG is a raw equivalent. For, like basically, Nikon they have their own
It's
raw format.
it's an
Yeah, so-
independent thing.
Because
Yes,
we had a
open
comment, a
standard.
question about PNG. So you're not saying that, you're saying DNG. That's a Nikon raw.
No, that's
yeah.
not Nikon. That's an open standard, right,
It's an
Michael?
open standard raw
Yeah.
format.
Okay,
But
so
Dan,
it's not a
D.
PNG.
David M. Mary G. George.
Okay, so it's not. Yeah, someone
I
asked
think
about a
that's right.
PNG versus
Anybody can
PNG.
use that format.
So I used the edit feature. Okay, yes. This time it spit it out as a JPEG. Once you share it,
Ah,
it will make a copy of your raw image, and
Mhm.
the shared image will be a JPEG.
but I think the
And is
original
it smaller?
But the original is still there.
Is it smaller?
If
When
someone,
you say smaller, do
No.
you mean file size or
Yes,
image
I
size?
mean file size.
Okay, according to the photo details,
It's not.
it's
Still
not.
16.23 megs.
if you, if,
no, Michael, you're still on the DNG.
if
Well,
you, if you
I think
download,
it
Yeah,
needs to
you're
show
correct,
the
you're
original
correct.
file. Anyway,
You're correct.
if a
You're
user downloads it, which one are they getting? The JPEG or the original?
When a user downloads it, it gets a JPEG. If they download the edited version, they're getting a JPEG because it's right here.
Can
Yeah,
they
but-
download the original also?
The original will be like the shared original. Like you see two posts right here. This is the original, and this is the edited. This is the one I shared. So only when you share it will it make a copy of your image.
Yeah, but that's nice to know if for example, you did an image and it was for like a big group of people. Maybe you were at some event and you shot a photo and you wanted to share it with a lot of different people and let a lot of people edit it, for example. It's nice to be able to put the raw file up there and then say to all of them, here, you can go here and get the raw file and have fun with it.
Yep. But the only thing is that at that size, you'd have to purchase more.
Well,
more
you just don't do
storage
it for a
space,
lot
right?
of pictures. You do it for that one special picture or whatever.
Yeah,
or a couple of special
I'm looking
pictures.
here, and if I try to download your file, it's definitely going to save it as a JPEG.
Hey,
Yeah.
Pam, buy a Chromebook. They'll give you 100 gigs for 2.
Oh, you can't, Dan, you can't download the original DMG?
Don't go to test 2. Go to the first one. Ignore this one.
So we
That
have
one
this
should be
que-
the raw one.
we
There
have
should
this
be-
question from Kevin. Is PNG worse than RAW or the same? The
They
answer is
have-
complicated.
Yeah,
It depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for the resolution and the quality, they're probably about the same, ignoring a lot of nitpicking details. If you're looking to edit it, the RAW file is going to contain a lot more information in it that let good editors be able to tweak it a lot better.
I like how you said good editors.
Even if you're not a good editor, you've got more to work with.
Well, and
Yeah,
by good
but-
editors, I actually mean software, not people.
Yeah.
The difference is it's raw versus. I mean, it's like the difference between a WAV file and an MP3.
No. Actually, the difference between WAV and MP3 is more similar to the comparison between a RAW file and a JPEG file.
Okay, so a better comparison will be if you were doing audio editing and you had the actual raw, all of the WAV files for each channel, the vocal, the drum, everything, just as it was laid down, you could edit it from there, as opposed to, a combined and compressed format, which is JPEG. Both look the same on your monitor. They look beautiful on your monitor, your mobile device,
Well,
but if
first
you're
of
actually
all,
trying
you
to edit
can't
it,
view the raw file on your monitor. When you're in an editor like Aperture or whatever, it's putting up a preview of the image that you're then working on and all that. You're not actually viewing the raw file.
but there's no way for me to download Michael's original. Maybe he can.
Yeah, once you edit it, it is no longer raw. I told you it makes it once you share it, it makes a copy, and then it converts it to JPEG.
Right.
Now, if I revert it to
says
original,
dng.jpg if I try to download it.
Pam, go ahead and share that question or comment.
This is a great photo hangout.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, photo is one of the big things that they did this week, right? I mean, it's all about photos.
And they've
It
been doing
is.
it for, this is actually the third week in a row that we've been covering photos, because this is
Right.
the third week in a row that they've done something with photos.
And there's nothing wrong
Okay.
with a little snark, right?
so
no, not at
Dan,
all.
Photos, let's face it, photos
Dan,
are a
go
big
back.
deal on Google Plus.
So Dan, go
and
back
on
to the
Facebook
photo.
and everywhere else for that matter.
So Dan, go back to the photo. You should see the original one now. That one, if you download it right now, it'll be the DNG file.
Okay, so this is the first one you shared publicly, or the second one. Ignore just testing raw files in Google Plus
That one.
or
It
test
should
2.
be
Okay.
unvintage looking. It should be regular. If you download that, it should be the DNG raw file.
They actually look different on the monitor. So if I
They
go
are
to-
different. One's edited, one's not.
If I download photo, I still get. Okay, now I can get the DNG.
Yep. So I took off. I reverted to the original copy.
So
We have
So
this,
share
we have
the
this
copy.
question. We have this question from Captain Euro, and I don't actually know the answer. What about TIFF?
TIFF should.
TIFF
work
is
as well.
uncompressed.
so what I'm
but
going to
is
do.
is it accepted?
This is
Can
the
you
original
Yes,
here.
it should be.
I've
be able to upload
uploaded
it,
TIFF. I've uploaded TIFF images before.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a bigger file, much bigger
Yeah.
file than a
Rather,
JPEG,
TIFFs are
typically.
TIFFs
All right,
are-
so I'm going to go in here. I'm going to zoom in on these little kids playing, right? I'm on the original now, and so everyone can look at that. You guys can't see in the Hangout, but the viewers can. So I've zoomed all the way in. Yeah, that's it. So these are the two kids, and you can make them out. The lighting's not great, but it's obviously either dusk or dawn. I imagine dawn or dusk. And so let's go to the JPEG version, which
No,
looks
this
a
is
little
no
different.
editing at all. I didn't edit any of this.
And that's it, huh? That's as far as I can go in. Oh no, wait, here we go.
Okay, so
There is a different. It's definitely clearer on the. I mean, even on my screen on Google Plus, it's clearer. I think the two kids are clearer on the original than the JPEG.
Well, understand that you're viewing a representation of the original. You're not viewing a DNG file, or whatever it is. I mean,
Yeah,
you can't view a raw file.
What do you mean you can't view a raw file?
You can't. I mean, that you can
Oh, I
open
see
them,
what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
you can open them in an editor and you can play with them, but
you're not
Even-
viewing the raw file. You're viewing a
Yeah.
representation of the raw file.
yeah.
Whatever
What-
it is, it's definitely better viewing this DNG file, which is obviously sucking up Michael's Google Drive big time.
Oh, I got 10 gigs that we'll find out about later.
So we'll
Jody,
look here. Let's look
Jody.
at this.
Share the
Tower
question
here
that you've
and
got,
here.
please.
You want me to
Unmute
read
yourself
it?
and share the question.
Yeah, read it, please, Jody.
I get a word in edgewise. Tina Nishkanen wants to ask, have you heard anyone being able to use the new G Plus Photo Edit with Ubuntu? Anyone?
I do know that the photo editor is only available in Chrome. There have been some people saying that it does not work in Windows 8, which I've had the same case. Ubuntu, I would imagine, since there's issues in one OS, there's maybe issues in the other, but I am not totally sure. I would have to boot up my Linux distro, which would take time.
I think the real question starts getting into, have you heard of anyone who's able to use the new G Plus Photo Edited on anything?
Yes,
Anywhere at all?
I just used it on air.
Yeah, I've used it too. But so that's two people.
But
No,
you know,
I've used it.
It's not bad for a free, limited
Yeah.
resource.
I don't like it, but I used it.
No, Jody, it's not bad for a free limited editor, but neither was the previous one, and it did more.
So why do you think they would have downscaled it?
Oh, it's obvious, because all of the people who worked on the old one left, and they just hired a new photo team, and they didn't want to try to maintain this program that nobody knew how to manage, and they had a whole new program, so they reinvented the wheel.
That's a shame.
Hey, Morris
Well,
shared.
but it might end up better once they finish everything.
Well, but they see this as finished.
Uh-oh.
Well, and that's just a reality of doing business anyway.
Just
right?
like Google Plus is finished. We're done. We're
Right.
Yeah.
It's
time to move.
finished, and now they're going to be adding features to it. But this is done.
Alan, is Moritz's Hangout Toolbox 2, the new comment thing, is that functioning?
I don't know. I haven't tried it.
If so, can someone try it and see? It's the new overlay. I don't know if it was
Oh,
just a screenshot or what was it?
I was using the first one. Do I have to close out of the first one to open
No.
up the second?
Anyway,
It's not available yet. The comment and
yeah, I don't think the new one is available yet, Dan.
Okay, just kidding, everyone. I'm making that up. That doesn't exist.
I'm using the
We're in a
version 2
secret
beta, though,
Moritz
just
beta
so
group.
you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so there were actually other I know we were ready to beat this topic to death, but there were other changes in the photo system, and I was actually more interested in these than I was in the Auto Awesome changes.
But tell us about what else happened then,
So,
Alan, please.
Gerwin discovered.
Don't leave anything out.
Gerwin discovered that anything, Dan. Do we want to talk about your pre-show antics?
Let's
Oh,
go
dear.
into detail.
Hey, look, he's clothed. He's here. It's all good.
Oh yeah, but he wasn't.
He's clothed.
It
he's
was
here,
it
and
was
his
Naked
ears are
Dan
pointing.
show earlier.
How did I miss
So-
that?
I was
Yeah, don't
posing for
forget the
Pam's
harmonica.
nightly breakfast pick or dessert pick.
I
Anyway,
don't know why I brought
Alan
this up. That was
Furstenberg.
my own fault.
Yep.
So the other two things that were changed in photos is that now when you go to organize your photos, it used to be you'd have a hard time trying to figure out how to set the cover photo. And you'd have a hard time because some moron actually thought it was a good idea to hide controls, until you actually hovered over the magic place and the controls would mysteriously appear. They fixed this. So now there is a much more obvious button to let you select which one is your cover photo. And supposedly it even works a little bit better. So that's good to see.
Wait, Alan, could you? I didn't understand that. Tell me again. Right,
Does
that's
that make
the
it
way
more
it
clear?
came through to me.
Okay. Previously, okay, let's take a step back. When you create an album, one of the options that you have on the album is to organize that album. When you
Yeah,
click on the Organize button, and there it's located in a couple of places, you can do things like drag and drop what order you want the photos to be in.
that's the only part of Control I understand about the albums.
And it used to be really easy in Picasa web albums. All of
Yeah.
this is very easy.
And actually, the Organize is fairly easy. It's just, you click Organize, you drag and drop things. Pretty straightforward.
Hmm.
One of the other features of that, which people didn't know about nearly as much, is that you can also set which photo you want to be the cover photo.
I
It doesn't-
didn't know you could do that.
It used to be the first photo by default.
It
Yeah,
used to
and
be.
you couldn't figure out how to make one the first
Right.
photo. though.
Well, you drag
great.
it into
You
the
dragged
number
it
one
around.
spot.
Oh, but it was problematic at best. It was a pain
But-
in the ass.
But
Yeah.
the first photo wasn't always selected as the cover
Right.
photo.
It was in
Right.
Picasa web albums.
Well,
But it wasn't in Google Plus.
it wasn't in Google Plus, and that's actually done deliberately because sometimes if you're trying to tell a chronological story, you don't necessarily want the first photo to be your cover photo. Sometimes
You want the
do.
best photo to be your cover photo.
You don't necessarily want that either. You want the right photo.
Yeah.
So there is a way to set which photo you want to be the cover photo.
Which
It
you've
was
been able
not
to do in
obvious.
Facebook for 2 years.
It was not obvious. It was totally not obvious. It was the most breathtakingly moronic way to do anything. If they could have found a stupider way to do it, they would have achieved colossal new insights into how not to do a UI.
How stupid was this way, Alan?
It was so stupid.
A little stupid, apparently.
Oh my
It
god.
was so stupid that in order to do it, you needed to move your mouse in organize mode. You needed to move your mouse about 20 pixels to the left of the upper right-hand corner of a photo.
What?
If you did this, bear with me here. If you did this, a little blue ribbon would come down. If you clicked on that blue ribbon, it would set it as the cover photo.
Unbelievable.
And then when you moved your
But
mouse
this was
away,
only a Monday between 7 and 9 p.m.
right.
well, it's seemingly so because it actually didn't work all that well.
What were they on? Some freaking 32-inch monitor when they were testing this? What the hell?
Even it totally baffles my mind. It really was the least obvious way to do things possible.
Was it not a very smart implementation?
Oh, I think it was a brilliant implementation. It was a brilliant implementation of a moronic idea,
Of a
however.
moronic idea, yeah.
To their credit, they finally caught on to the fact that nobody was using this feature because nobody could find the damn feature. Well, hi, Moritz.
Speak of the devil.
Moritz will have to put some comments in. Wait, I see Shriek.
They
Shriek
finally caught on to the fact that
waddling
nobody
back
was
to
using
the
this feature
Hangout.
because it was so horribly done, and they now make it much more obvious. There is now a button that says "Use as cover photo."
Now
Wow,
Moritz
that's
is
nice.
will have to be nicer now because Moritz is here and he's with Google.
No. Go ahead.
Have you been listening, Moritz?
Oh, so
That
you
won't
agree on the
happen.
photo?
No, I wasn't listening. I just jumped in. I just finished
Oh,
the
God.
hangout with Robert Pitt, and now I'm
Moritz is our
joining
director of
to hear
audio.
Alan ranting about Google Plus, and I'm totally
Okay.
fine with that.
Because I never rant about Google Plus in front of.
Are you
Moritz.
going to be able to demo the new comment thing, Moritz?
Yes, I am, and
So-
I'm just looking for some links.
No, we cannot test it, right? It's not live in 2 yet.
Dan?
Oh, you can. Here, there you go.
Dan?
I'm sorry.
Dan.
I don't want to take away from. I apologize.
We actually do have this as a topic.
Oh, okay.
So we'll come to the comments thing later. Let's
So I
finish
apologize. I don't want to detract from the extended version of the photo topic. So carry on, Alan.
because it's
If-
the
if you'd
ratings
like,
grab
Dan,
that
we
you
could
were
dig into the
expecting.
HTML
Oh
for
yeah, it's got us
40
by the short and
freaking
curlies.
minutes.
Let me tell you.
Can we go over how I copy and paste
What a
HTML?
fail! Oh my God. See, Craig is just trying to sabotage this show because his show
Dan,
this
it
morning
was you
so
that
bad.
did it last week. Anyway,
Go
this
ahead,
is
Mr.
another part-
Furstenberg.
Sabotage
The final new photo feature they introduced this week that Gerwin discovered.
We
is
say
that
final
previously-
loosely.
Is that previously, in order to, if you wanted to select a bunch of photos to move into another album, you would have to do it from the album list, which is good, but if you're looking at photos and trying to judge details between the two, it's nicer to do if you've got a bigger photo to look at. The way I usually select photos to move through an album is I will look through the big ones. I gotta step away for a second. Hang on.
Pam, which ones do you prefer? Go ahead, Alan.
Pam's ready to answer that question.
Yes, she is.
Sam is not available right now.
Oh, okay.
I think it's time to insert our first commercial. Jody, did you have an announcement for a show that's coming up tonight?
Oh, there you go. Nice segue.
Sure. We can talk about Tech Webcast, which is out of Australia. It's hosted by Brad Chasnor, also Andrew Cunningham, who has Zarfo, which is a new social app which he's introducing. It's going into beta in the next week or so.
Mm-hmm.
Also Steve Klingen, who is out of Texas, and I'm a co-host. And that usually lasts only an hour.
Oh,
Wow.
boy, short show.
How do you fit everything in just an hour?
I know, right? And each week we have a different guest that comes on, and typically the format is we discuss the news, what happened this week, and I'm sure, without any doubt in my mind, that the iPhone 5S and 5C, the fact that they sold out within 5 minutes, apparently, that'll be one of the topics of discussion.
Mhm.
So that starts in about an hour, just about.
Do you run live? Like if people want to watch it or listen to it, can they do so live, or is it just archived?
It's live on as Chatterbox Live on. Now let me get this right. It's Chatterbox Live.
If they
Just
go
in
to
TV.
if they go to techwebcast.info, is there a link from there to it?
There is a link from there, but for the most part, it's an audio podcast, as opposed to like what we're doing with video. So
So probably most of your listeners download it and listen to it after the fact.
Yeah, it's rebroadcast every week on Aussie Tech Heads. And it's the #1 tech webcast in Australia. God bless you.
Thanks.
Here we go. Well, now, since you mentioned the iPhone 5,
Hang on one sec. Was Alan done with the topic? What happened to Alan? Is he there?
I don't know. Somehow I got
Alan's
thrown
back.
I
in.
had a local crisis that I needed to handle.
Oh, okay. So
Alan's
we
back.
weren't like.
See
And
what
then-
happens when you steal a show, Alan?
So, Alan, did you have
Right.
Did you
so
want to
the
finish that
final
topic,
feature
and then
is
we'll go to the
that-
iPhone 5, I guess, if Craig wants to talk about that, since we have like
Is
6
the
topics.
iPhone 5 conversation for like another 15 minutes.
yeah, we're not gonna. I was joking. We don't need to
Okay.
talk about that.
So
So,
let's finish the
basically,
let's finish the photo hour first, and then we'll.
Photo hour.
Google Photo Hour. You heard
Welcome.
it here first.
Actually,
Google Photo Hour.
there is a show called The F Stops Here, which talks mostly about Google Plus and Photos.
That's an awesome name. Oh my God.
It's a great show.
That's epic. That's epic. That's a
I
great
watched
name.
it last week. It's a great show.
The F stops here.
The F Stops Here.
That's
What a
very
great
good.
name. Okay, so Alan, please continue with your
So the final feature is that now, as
Summary
you're
of-
going through
brief summary of the photo.
an album, looking at the large size of it, you can select it right from there. So you can go through a bunch of them, select them as you go, hop out to the overview, and then bulk move all of these into another album. So if you're using Google Plus as your photo editing workflow, as I've increasingly tried to do, this is a great addition to the tool. And I'm really hoping this is a good sign that they're going to improve photo management, because right now photo management on Google Plus is beyond suckage.
Okay, so just to clarify,
We all love it.
it's great, and if the photo thing goes on much longer, I'm gonna have to grab that 357 Magnum on my shelf with
Well,
hollow
Dan,
points.
Dan, it's your show. You could edit
It's
the topic
our show,
list
since I didn't even look at the
however you
topic
want.
list until after we'd started.
Oh, details like that.
Yeah. Like, oh, there's a teleprompter? What's that? Okay. Okay, so, all right, so awesome. Get it?
So before
See what
we
I just
move
did
on,
there,
Dan,
Craig?
we need another word from one of our sponsors, and that would be Hangout10.com. Monday nights at 10 p.m. Join us live Monday nights at 10 p.m. Hangout10.com.
We're sponsored by Honer Harmonicas tonight. Product placement.
Uh-oh.
It's a
And
C.
by Chromecast.
By
Oh, yeah.
Chromecast, yeah.
Chromecast.
Michael Banks, what the hell? Why'd you bought 6 of them? What the hell did
Chrome-
you do?
No.
Chromecast, the living room TV device that is guaranteed to end up in your desk drawer.
Yeah, he's Michael Banks. Let's talk about this. By the way, Gregory, you said your kid or your nephew has switched to Google Plus and doesn't like Facebook, or just generally doesn't like Facebook, or for whatever reason. So I'm looking for a little more elaboration on that, if you will. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But please, if you could elaborate on why he likes Google Plus, and that sort of thing, because that's really interesting to me. But you were about to talk about, apparently there's some golden leprechaun version of the iPhone out, and it was parodied, if not pilloried, and it's all that apparently because everyone's tried to buy it. So what's the deal, Craig? You wanted the gold one, right? And
Yeah, I
apparently
did.
no one's going. Okay, there's the 5C and the 5S. The 5S is the premium one, but the 5C is not a joke either. But nobody wants the 5C. Is that going to be
From
the?
what I understand, the 5C is basically a 5 with the plastic case, but with a little better battery life.
Is the 5C analogous to Microsoft's Surface RT? Is that fair?
No, it's like an iPhone 5. It's like last year's iPhone with just a plastic.
But in
instead
terms of
aluminum.
how it's going to perform, is it fair to make an analogy to Microsoft Surface RT?
No, it'll perform fine. It's going to run all the same apps. It's not going to have the fingerprint scanner, and it's not going to be quite as fast.
And
but
I'll tell you, I've seen all sorts of people test that fingerprint scanner on Twitter today with every possible, a cat's paw, a man's appendage. Apparently they all work. So It's.
And they all work, you said?
You
I
got
was
it.
on
You got a
Twitter.
finger,
Somebody
though.
said some guy's P word. It works great if you set it up, and then you can like use it to.
Wow,
I mean, I was like, what
seem-
the
that's
F
pathetic.
am I?
That doesn't
know.
seem very convenient at work to be able to open up your phone.
This
you
is the
know?
Well, it
TMI
depends on-
edition
it
of Google
depends on
Plus
your-
Week.
your
This is the
vocation.
uncensored
Yeah,
live
that's
version.
true. That's true. Good point.
So apparently, yeah, you can, slap your Craig right down on there, and you're good.
But Dan, to get back to the original topic, I did not put this in the topic list.
Do you
Just
have an original topic?
I don't know.
He said he brought up the iPhone 5. I mean, I don't even know how this even got on the topic list, but now that you brought it up,
He's such a
Dun, dun,
freaking
dun,
troll.
dun.
God.
Make sure you watch Hangout 10.
now that you brought it up, no, seriously.
Now that we forced you to talk about it,
when
Craig.
I'm critical sometimes of the tech press, and of course, if we rewind the tape and we listen to almost all of these pundits,
Don't troll
they were
my friends,
all-
please.
They were all questioning a gold iPhone from the start. That first of all, it's not going to happen. Apple won't do it. It's tacky, whatever. And everybody's saying if they do come out with one, we won't buy them. They might sell in China because gold's real popular in China, but
That's
nobody in
like
the
gold,
U.S. will buy them.
champagne gold.
And then people were saying, then people started backpedaling a little bit, saying, no, it's more like champagne color and so on. And most of them still said they wouldn't buy it. And then Leo Laporte was the first one that did a 180 and said, well, that's the one I'm going to get. And then they all the rest of them started piling on, and now they all want a gold iPhone.
You
Some
can't
of
get it.
which probably because they can't get it. That's why they want it. They want what they can't get, right? I want it, and I want to be clear, because I think it's gorgeous. I think the phone is like a work of art, and I put a video out earlier stating
I
all
s-
of this.
Craig, I saw it on your posts, and I thought it looked very attractive.
I
So-
think it is, and you
I'm
put
glad
that-
we got a whole
let's be
bromance
honest about
going
why
on here.
Most people want the gold iPhone is for the same reason why they wanted the white earbuds for the original iPhone. They want people to know that they
That they have
spent
one.
No, you know,
But that's,
money.
I
You know,
disagree
I
with
don't
that,
know.
Alan.
You know, I think there are people like that, but I don't really buy that in general
No,
because I think most
There's some of
people-
that though, Craig. But in
There's
my
some,
case, I
but-
bought the white Note. I got the Note 2. It's white, and basically because every single phone I'd ever had was black, and so all of a sudden I had an option to get a white one. It was
I
different and
used
new.
to
And it was just
alternate-
something different, you know.
I used to alternate. I would buy one black iPhone and then one white so
yeah,
that
you
I
just
could
get
tell
sick
them
of
apart.
you get sick of looking at a color.
Well,
and then
I
you
did it
switch
so I could tell
you
them
know.
apart. Right?
But the gold thing, I think it's genius. I was thinking like, man, that would be sweet to have a gold-colored phone.
Well, if you look at it, it's very attractive. I think it looks very good, and you put it
Now,
in
will
a
this-
bag-
Checks.
Now,
Okay,
Craig,
no,
Craig,
okay,
will this
Craig,
will
so
this
can you
clash
show
with?
us yours, please?
But Alan, hold on, real quick. Will
No,
this?
I want Craig to show us just how gorgeous his gold iPhone is.
Yeah, it's so
But-
gorgeous. I need to see, Craig.
I
Yeah,
don't
is
have
this-
it yet.
aren't
I
you
won't
worried,
have it
Craig?
Until October.
Craig, aren't you worried that this is going to clash with your hot pink BlackBerry?
No, but I will tell you, my iPad in the other room, which I'll go get in a minute, it has the red leather cover, a magnetic cover thingamajig, and I
He's
also
literally
ordered
holding
the
a
red
ball as he
leather
describes
case.
the beauty.
I also ordered the red leather case for the iPhone,
A blue
the gold
ball.
iPhone, and it is going to really look striking in that red leather case.
Oh my
Let me tell
God!
you a joke. Let me tell you a joke. If you hold it like in your left hand, like and grip it real tight and let go, your hand's gonna be green. Watch.
Oh my God!
Striking.
You hold it in
That's-
your left hand really tight. Says Michael Banks.
Bruce has a comment we should read.
Bruce is going to bring us back to reality here.
Yeah,
Well-
bring the comment back up.
Well, Captain Euro says, I work for Apple, but I would never buy an iPhone.
Oh no!
Thank you,
Thus
Captain Euro. Well said.
Thus the pseudonym. No, there's no doubt that these are quality phones. I mean, I troll Apple
Well,
like
I mean,
Craig
they-
trolls Android,
They
but
outsell all the other smartphones combined at AT&T, Sprint, and Verizon, and that tells you something because they always try to force a Android phone on you. If you go into any of those stores, they
They
try
don't
to sell you
outsell
an
them-
Android phone.
I don't think
every
they
time.
outsell them combined, Craig. I don't think that's accurate.
Yes.
In
I
the
think they
iPhone-
outsell any
in
single
the-
model.
No, in the
iPhone
U.S.
sold
it's correct.
over 50%.
Oh, is it?
In the
Of
U.S. that is absolutely correct, and I think you're right. That does tell you something. Not what you think it tells you, but it does tell you something.
What does it tell you about?
It's the best phone.
Tell us what it tells you about the Craig Ship Lemmings of America, Alan Furstenberg.
That's exactly what it tells you. It tells you that Americans are incredibly focused on status and not on, quality or features.
Or maybe they want the best. Yes,
Especially if it's shiny and pretty and
that's right. It's gotta look
chartreuse.
gorgeous.
And that's the only
Carrying
criteria.
case.
Yep.
That's the main criteria. Absolutely.
Who doesn't want
Right,
shiny and
Jody,
pretty?
back me up on this. Come on, it's got to look gorgeous, right? Let's be honest here.
Well, here's the thing, okay? When they introduced the phone, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's no big deal. Apple didn't introduce enough changes. There wasn't enough to get the stock market excited." And in fact, the stock market did drop. However, all of the information that I've seen regarding the speed test says that Apple has knocked it out of the park. They said that this phone is the fastest phone on the market, and the people who have gotten their hands on them are incredibly impressed. Even those people, and specifically Chris Voss, I know, was one of the people who was kind of so-so on it. Robert Scoble was a little so-so on it. Scoble was in the store this morning and he bought 2 of them. And I know Voss was saying that he thought it was incredibly fast. So, go ahead. I'm sorry, Michael.
I think people are blinded by the hardware because if anyone tells me, even Craig Ship, if you tell me iOS 7 looks gorgeous, you're so full of it. I'm telling you.
I'm
Oh, I think it looks
ambivalent
gorgeous.
when I can take or leave iOS 7.
Craig, you should need some help.
I'm not excited about iOS 7, but it's brand new.
But isn't that part of the
Oh
phone?
my God.
Is it not
You know
part
what?
of the phone?
You know what?
I don't see
don't
it as a
think it's-
detriment either.
I think iOS 7 is fine, but it's not even the exterior of the phone. It's what's inside of it. It's the new A7 chip and the M7 chip. Dan, you are laughing.
But those have been out already.
I'm laughing at Kevin Bryan's comment. He's making,
I want to laugh.
I can't wait to get my hands on one. That's all I can say.
he said, "Oh,
There's 2 kinds
Jody,
of people:
you're
those
just
that
setting
have
yourself up here.
iPhones and those that want them.
Kevin
Simple
Bryan,
as that.
Dan's
No, Craig, I got to tell you, I've got no interest in an iPhone. I mean, they're fine phones, don't get me wrong, but I've got no interest in having one. It
Okay.
does not suit my needs at all.
Moritz, can you put Kevin Bryan's funny comment about me
I think
up?
I did.
I
Dan,
can only
for
do
tonight?
Google Plus comment at the moment.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, go ahead.
Pam's
Pam.
got
Is
it.
it? Is it? This one?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to click
Dan's
on her
prep
because
for
I
tonight. We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
can't. Oh, that's a play on the Bill, the
Come
epic must see Bill O'Reilly meltdown when he was what was the TV show? It's still there. What the hell is it? The hot blonde chick is on it now. It's
Who's this?
You're the one that's a TV junkie, not us.
no, I actually turned it down. I actually was asked to be Deborah Norville, and I was scared to go on. They asked me to go on once, and I was scared.
You know what they used to call Deborah Norville back in the day?
I don't.
Oh Lord.
What's the next topic?
Hot lips. Hot lips.
Oh man, don't get us in trouble now. You
No, they did.
You chauvinist pig.
No, that was her nickname, really.
Way to kill the mood, Craig.
Trivia.
Okay, so
No, the mood was already killed, Dan. I
Oh
was
my
trying
God.
to save it, but that didn't even work.
yeah, we're getting all kinds of questionable comments now, for sure. Okay, so Alan, what's the deal?
So we
Is
all
Alan-
agree that the iPhone 5S is the best phone ever made. Let's just move on.
Negative. Not if you include iOS 7 as part of it. but the
especially
hardware
since
is
it has
good.
4K video like the Note 3 does. Oh wait. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I stand corrected. The beautiful Note 3 has 4K video, but the iPhones don't. So forgive me for my error, Mr. Ship.
Well, we'll see. We'll see
purveyor
what kind
of
of quality
4K
they get out of
propaganda.
that so-called 4K.
All right, so is Alan back?
No, Alan's not
No,
back.
he'll be back later.
So Jody,
Go,
what
Pam.
time does that podcast start?
Oh my God.
In about 15 minutes.
I have to start my harmonica commercial
Tech
any moment now.
webcast.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you can find it at techwebcast.info, and I'll be on there, and then I'll hop back here. So
Absolutely. So you're going to take all our audience, both of our audience members, with you, and then bring them back, right?
I
Okay.
think
I
we're
think we
part of
should
the
call. I think we should call this Shipwreck Live.
You know what's funny is we're almost at 30 right now.
It's not as bad as my show this morning was, though. It was really a train wreck.
if we're at 30, we've got we've got Brad probably, and we've got Jacob.
There you go. Absolutely.
All right, so
God, who's doing that?
that's
Do we
me.
have another topic?
Yeah, we do have another topic. Let's
we've
go to another
been
topic.
waiting for another topic here.
Yeah, for quite some time. Okay, so next up is Google Plus help forums shut down and moved to newly named. Actually, let me hold off on that. Is Alan coming back? Because I can't see the chat, and I don't want to put. The only way I can see it is if I put it up on screen when the viewers will see it, and I don't want.
I can talk about
Hold
it.
on, let's see. He says back later.
Okay,
Didn't say when.
so
That's what I said. Back later. You don't listen.
I'm sorry, Pam.
Anyway, let me tell my story. I didn't get the chance to tell my story.
Please don't leave anything
So
out.
it was 3 a.m. and I set my
And
alarm.
You didn't know where he was.
I set my alarm for 1 minute before 3 a.m. I get up. Right at 3 a.m. I get on. About 3:01, I'm connected. I'm ordering with my iPad. It only took about a minute or less for me to place the order. So about 3:02 a.m. I have the order placed, and it still said 7 to 10 days to ship.
Are you seeing a
And-
therapist?
And other people were saying that if they got the order in the first 15 minutes, that they got 1 to 3 days.
This is sick. I'm
So
sorry.
I don't understand. I got it in within 2 minutes and a 7 to 10 day ship date.
Maybe they're closer to the source.
Wait. So you're pissed because you have to wait a week?
Yeah, I'm pissed.
You
I'm gonna
wanted it
throw
today.
The Prime Apple.
Craig, how
wanted
long did you wait?
$50 today, and I didn't get it.
The
So
Prime Apple customer.
Ask Dan how mad he would be if he had to wait for his Note 2 that he
it's a
broke.
week.
The Prime
not
Apple
like-
It's
customer.
actually going to be more like 2 weeks by the time I actually get it.
But look how
Still,
long you
who
waited
cares?
for your Chromecast.
Yeah, it took months to get my Chromecast, and here it is in the box.
And Michael Banks is sitting on a stack of them now.
Yeah, I am.
They
How many?
make-
Why did
stack
you
of
buy
what?
6
Chromecast?
Chromecasts?
I didn't buy 6 Chromecast.
How come yours has a different cover?
What do you mean?
Oh, yours still has the.
Are we all showing off
External.
our boxes for?
He has
Chromecasts?
3 of them together, Jody.
Yeah, why do you have 3, Michael?
I have special use for them.
Okay, just
Jody
was
has
wondering.
2.
That's not an answer,
And they're
Michael Banks.
$35. Jeez.
It's okay. You want to watch? You want to stream porn on every single device you have in the house? That's cool.
Different porn. Different porn on every one.
There are
That's good.
multiple CamForce destinations. Pam
It's
Asher.
like watching football games on Sunday. You know, you get a different shot on it, so to speak, on
And then
every.
then you have Google Plus Live on one of them.
No, porn is nothing like football.
I bet you a year from now. I bet you a year from now you'll say Chromecast and somebody will say what?
According to Craig, who eat porn? He has the gold iPhone.
Mhm.
That's right.
Exactly, which is better in every way. In
Going for the gold.
contour and wonderful. Okay, so why did you buy so many, Michael?
I had a
Oh,
special
evasive
need for them.
one.
You can't tell us more than that.
No.
What are the special needs?
Wow, he's really being secretive. That's interesting.
I have no choice.
Is Moritz still here?
Yes, I'm still here.
Moritz,
Jody,
how's
you
your
know
week been,
about-
Moritz? Tell us how your week's been. Tell us what's going on in
Wait, it's we're wrapping up already.
No, I mean just I'm trying to.
The shortest Google Plus.
No, we're not
Before you
wrapping
go to
up.
the next topic.
So what's
because-
going on in the?
We could skip the topic that you're waiting for Alan.
No,
we could talk
what's
about
the
we could talk about the stray dog.
I
that
want
was
to know
saved by
what's
Google
going
Maps.
on in the German ghetto in Dublin. What's the deal?
Ghetto in Dublin.
I don't think he's on mic. I can't hear him. Can you all hear him?
Yeah, we can hear him.
Oh, okay. I've got to refresh.
So, are you on a Mac, Craig? Craig, are you on a Mac?
He's on the
I don't think
iPhone.
I should refresh,
Are
Michael.
you on a gold iPhone?
On a new iPhone, yeah.
But I can't hear him.
Okay.
Well, if you be quiet and let him talk.
No, I'm going to refresh.
Wait, if I-
I can't hear his audio at all.
If I speak
1, 2,
incessantly,
3. 1,
then-
2, 3.
We hear you.
yeah, he's fine. He's on a Mac. He has to refresh.
Craig's coming back.
I'm sorry for Craig's OS behavior. Okay, so Moritz, how's your day going? How's Google? How's everything? How's tell us about your new Hangout Toolbox.
A lot of stuff is going on. Getting ready for the TC Summit. Looking forward to meet Michael.
Yeah.
So we are in the last few days in preparation for the summit, and 1 week we'll all be in San Francisco. No, not in San Francisco, in Mountain View in San Jose.
Sorry, Moritz, what's TC Summit?
Top Contributor Summit.
Oh, okay.
Why don't you come a couple of days early and then I can meet you?
Unfortunately, I can't, and the flights are all booked. But I will stay longer though. But then you're gone. We had that.
You know what? I sent a note back. They were talking about top contributors, and I sent a note back saying I'd be interested in being a top contributor, but nobody responded to me at all.
Oh, that's a bummer.
And I have to say that's my kind of typical Google experience. Like
I say join the club, Michael.
every customer comment that I give input, trying enthusiastically to be supportive, and I get bupkis back.
But to be fair here on the top contributor thing, Moritz, correct me if I'm wrong. It's sort of an invite thing. It's people who participate in the forums and help people a lot, and offer really good quality advice frequently, and are sort of the go-to folks, and then they get invited to be that, and then get like special perks and stuff. Is that accurate? Because that's how you got your job at Google, really, right, Moritz? But it's not like you apply for it. You have to actually do it, and then if you're lucky, but if you're consistent and
yeah, you have to be
good.
passionate about support. That's a major thing, and you have to love to help people.
Like Craig Shipp loves to help people.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Any chance I get.
He frequently helps elderly ladies with their
Cross streets they don't want to cross.
road crossings.
Cross lines they don't want to cross.
Teaches them how to hula hoop.
Oh dear.
Absolutely.
All of them got that far.
Oh,
Tough
that was
work.
a dig. If that's not a
Tough
dig,
work, but somebody's got to do it.
All this and more on Hangout10.com.
Yes. Mondays at 10 p.m.
oh my
I'd
God.
love to see a live hula hoop demo, Craig.
You ever get the feeling you've lost control of your show?
Yes, this morning at 10 o'clock, my brother. It was a disaster.
Craig, I'll send you the invoice.
Okay, thank you.
Oh my God. Okay, so
PayPal's
do we have
on
a
the way.
topic here? Okay, so Moritz, actually, you're perfect for this since you're a top contributor. Google Plus Help forums shut down, moved to newly named Google Plus Help community.
That's
Moritz
correct.
Tolksdorf, our German-Irish friend, the man who's single-handedly introduced sausages to the Irish public, and beer, to Pam. If you could elaborate on this and what does this mean?
So basically, we decided a while back ago that we want to switch like in product support, and we decided to use communities for that. And we were doing that like already for a while. The Google Plus Discuss community was there for a couple of months already, and we have a bunch of in-product TCs like Michael Bangs and a bunch of other very helpful users, and we wanted to like do the next step, and the next step was to close down the product forum, which happened on Monday, I think, or Tuesday. And now it's read-only, and if Google Plus users are seeking support or help, they should head over to Google Plus Help. The community got renamed as well.
Just to make it harder to find you? I mean,
Well,
really?
the issue we have is that a lot of people are posting spam to the community. I mean,
Oh,
that's a
yeah.
common issue across all communities, but the word discuss kind of gives you the impression that you can, discuss stuff, even if it's like probably not related to Google Plus at all. And that happens quite a lot. So we get spam, we get low quality posts, and even like unrelated content. That's not like even, just a different Google product. It's totally off topic. And so we were having a hard time, moderating the community.
Yeah.
How many moderators do you guys have? Because I just joined the other day, and you guys have like 69,000 members.
We have a bunch of moderators that are going through the comments, and I do it like during the European daytime when the US is asleep, because we have some European TCs in that group, like Jan and East and others, and I try to help out where I can with like fighting the spam. We're still looking into ways for improvements, and we know that the communities are still missing a lot of features to like really be a,
To
kind of
replace a
product
forum, right?
Yeah. So like sticky posts are missing. We are not able to like move posts to a different forum like we are able in the product forums. Then there is one big concern and issue that the TCs raised, like, what happens if your Google Plus profile is suspended? How can you, address that issue? You're not able to access the Google Plus community.
Right.
So these are all things we are thinking of and looking into ways to improve that experience.
Wait, Moritz, you can just call 1-800-GOOGLE.
Sure.
And reach a tech support operator
Google Play.
who will quickly fix that, right?
Probably. But yeah, I mean, the tests we were doing in the past before we decided to close on the GPF, they were quite successful, and the actual resolution rate was way higher. So issues were addressed more quickly. We were able to provide more or faster solutions to users. So there are some benefits, and we want to build on that. And
you said it was faster to resolve problems under the community?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So you're moving in the right direction doing this.
Yeah, so users, they were raising issues in the community, got immediate response by either TC or Google Plus Help or someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the community, it would probably have taken way longer.
In the forum,
yeah. So communities are a faster medium to get help. And a colleague here in my office from the French team, he's doing the same for the French market.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to Google Plus Help to the page, you see actually two communities there, one with the French name and one with the English name. And so he's trying the same with the French communities and how it works there.
Is there therefore a different help community for each language in the world, or just for French and English at this point?
Not for each language in the world. So for now, with the Google Plus community, we only have it for English and French.
Okay.
The product forums are usually available for the top languages, like we have Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, German, we have Russia, Poland, and like some of the like very common languages. We even have like Japan and Chinese.
Similar to language practice hangouts.
Yeah, so it's like the 18 top languages or something like that.
Yeah.
Moritz, I gotta ask you, did you purchase that hat?
No, I actually got it for free.
I was just curious. I was curious about the origin of that.
So for example, for like Denmark or Finland or Norway, we don't have product forums.
Yeah.
Because the population is just too small to like have a dedicated forum for their language.
But with the translator function that's built into Google Plus now, I wonder if it's really necessary to have separate product forum or communities for support for each of the languages or each of the major languages in the world.
I mean, like when I check the community every day, there are a bunch of posts in like even not English, you know, and they're like in Chinese or Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to decide if it's spam, if it's like low quality content, if it's off topic, or if it's really irrelevant post and someone needs help but is not able to speak English. So in that situations, or in those situations, the translate link was very, very handy, because I just clicked it, bam,
Yeah.
it was translated, even though it is not 100% matching the correct grammar and stuff like that, but I got the sense of the actual post. And
You can figure out if it's spam or not,
so
for sure.
I was able to figure out, like, okay, this is just someone advertising a website or a community, or
Morris,
just posting
suggest
something, and I can go ahead and remove it.
to suggest a feature, it would be neat if you could flip a switch and automatically translate those posts, and it would detect the language of origin, and then you could reply, and it would translate your reply to that language of origin to save you the steps of having to do that, right? That would be a neat feature. Because I know sometimes people in Arabic or Chinese or what have you will comment on my posts, and I'll have to go to Google Translate, which is a great service.
It's great in French and Spanish and Portuguese, but it isn't quite so good in Arabic or.
I learned
It's pretty good in German.
Yeah.
You can kind of get the gist of it though, and so can the recipient, right? I mean, it's I learned that legal means cool, in Portuguese, for our Brazilian friends, but I think I did it on one of Michael Ellis's posts. Someone, I don't know if it was Chinese or Arabic or whatever it was, posted something, and I responded using Google Translate in the characters for that language, and it worked, but it would be neat, especially in forums, Moritz, because
I agree. I mean,
that would
the
be really
translation stuff
a
is,
time saver for you, right?
We're still improving the language algorithms and train our systems to do a better job with translations.
Mm-hmm.
And while we were talking here, I actually fixed the new comment tracker layover for the comments, and now it works with YouTube as well. So now I can show it, and there is one comment.
I love this.
Just
live code development in Google Plus Week.
He's
so this is the
literally
new
developing
overlay
it
I
as-
came up
as
with
we go.
today. The profile
like
image is
that.
not perfectly showing up yet. That's why I put in the place like a dummy picture. But Khalil
that's
says
cool.
the translate function is not always adequate to facilitate a strong level of communication, and I totally agree with that. Like as I said, to get like the general gist of a comment or a post, it's okay. But after that,
I agree with that, Moritz, but I think the more relevant point is the fact that it isn't a perfect translation is not the enemy, shouldn't be the enemy of having translation at all.
you get
And consolidating all support requests under the same umbrella makes them visible to everyone. So I don't want to have to wonder if that question that I'm about to ask has already been asked in the French postings, or in the Japanese postings, or in the Russian postings. Do you see what I mean?
right.
Well, as long as the people moderating the different communities don't ignore your question because it's already been answered in Russian.
Well,
It's like,
or the other way around. They don't. They're not even aware of your question because the guy moderating doesn't speak Russian, so he doesn't moderate the
Why
Russian
don't they have
post.
separate forums for different languages?
They do. That's
Not-
what they
not
do.
the
I'm
Google Plus
arguing
Help
against
forum, do
that.
they?
Yeah. I have another comment from Michael Daniels here, and that probably will be a challenge. He wants to hear Michael and me speak some German.
Some Griemen. Is it Gremlin or Griemen? How do you pronounce that?
Yeah, some agreement. I actually
Moritz, can you explain the new overlay? Is this with the beta version?
No, this is the the development version we are currently still working on.
Yeah.
We actually built this whole overlay thing in the last couple of hours.
Now, is this in the version 2 beta of the Hangout Toolbox, or is this in the original one?
It will be in version 2.
Okay. Do you know how soon you're going to roll it out?
it depends on how much progress we can make on this weekend.
Okay.
I really try to push Robert.
In
so
other
we
words,
can get
nobody
it
should
out.
post. Nobody should
Early
post
next week.
anything in the Google Plus help forum. So
'Cause they're
Morris has
busy.
time to
If you,
to fix
Morris,
this
if you
thing.
have it ready for Monday night, I'd like to use it in our Hangout 10 show.
And how might someone find that show, Craig?
It's 10 o'clock Monday nights. Every Monday night at 10 o'clock, hangout10.com.
But it's
Yeah,
delayed
so
until
the only thing,
postponement of,
the only thing, Craig,
the Android
is that it works for Google Plus Post. It works for YouTube videos now. You can display them, you can pin them, but the only thing is that we don't have is like that you can share the sources, that you can import sources that others shared, that it automatically adds the YouTube link to the comment tracker, and some other stuff that is not there, which the original comment tracker has. We're trying to get those features built in over the weekend to have at least like a basic version ready. But like the sources sharing and stuff like that, it's not super necessary to use it. It's like, you know, a nice to have thing, but we try to do
I
that as soon as
I just want to be able to share the YouTube comments. That's all I want to do.
Can I ask
That's
Morris
all I
an
want.
unrelated question?
What was that?
I want to ask Morris about those open snacks there. I see on the right of you, which we, to your right.
I haven't had dinner, so
So here,
stop
for
talking
all
about
the
this.
OCD people, that's like
Frosties. Oh my
Frosties.
God.
But I opened them at the bottom. People will
That's
help me.
terrible. Yeah, that was disturbing me already through the
Is
whole
that
show.
the Irish version of
I've never
Frosted
even
Flakes?
heard of those.
Now,
It's
what
Frosted
else? What
Flakes.
else do we have, Moritz?
Yeah.
Moritz,
Frosted
give
Flakes.
Give us a
Frosted
a
Flakes.
full.
That's not the same. Is that the same as Frosted Flakes?
Yeah. Give us a culinary
All right,
review.
They
Moritz-
renamed them.
Moritz,
they
give
renamed
us a
Frosted
tour
Flakes?
here.
Outside
You
the
got
U.S.
the you got the
market, they're called
Frosties, and then you've got what else? You've got okay, so that's Kellogg's Frosted Flakes in Ireland. They're called Frosties.
It's the same name in Germany, though. And I think
Yeah, they're
everywhere else
they're
in-
called that everywhere except in the U.S. I think.
Now, what else is there, Moritz? I see it looks like a Stouffer's bag.
Oh, that's like some burger stuff.
I'm
I
just.
can just move
We're
my
all
screen
hungry,
over
so we're
He's moving his display so we can't see his junk food.
all right. So he's embarrassed to tell us what he's actually.
No, but I
eating.
think I hope that the new
He's
design
working on
looks
that Google 5 pounds or how
crisp
many
and
pounds? is
clean
it?
on the YouTube video. I was checking that, and it looks quite good on the YouTube video. The only issue I was seeing is that, you know, in Dan's show where Dan has the Google Plus logo on top, it kind of covers the live comment text in the overlay. So maybe I should position it differently.
I mean, I can move my thing. I don't want to affect like a
This
million
overlay
users
you got
because
showing
of,
right now looks fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
looks
quite nice.
it's great.
Yeah,
it's
so
great.
as long as you have the ability to use HD, it should look crisp and clear. If I go down to the SD version, it starts to get pixelated. But this is quite the quality we have in Comment Tracker.
Hmm.
So as long as the broadcaster is broadcasting in HD, and if the broadcaster is the one sharing the comment, it's going to be clear, right?
Yes.
So it's who's sharing the comment, they have to be in HD.
Exactly.
Okay.
So and also the default overlays, they are also now in high resolution.
But now, Moritz, your name is overwritten over top of it.
Yes,
So.
this is a bug I just saw
That's a feature.
when I was trying it out, because we were clipping the text for the comments, and unfortunately that's affecting the name as well. So we have to fix that tomorrow.
Mhm.
But you have that cool hat.
Right.
I have that cool hat.
Now, when are we going to talk about the HD? When is that on the schedule?
It's live now. Everyone has
No,
720.
I mean, is it on a topic list for this
It's
week's
on-
show or not?
Yeah,
talking about it now.
it is.
When are we going to talk about it?
Right now.
It's the next topic.
The next topic. And by the way, guys, I shared the developer app in this Hangout, so you should see it on the left-hand side, and you can try it out if you want to. So, Craig,
So, Moritz, question.
a-
I'm using the Hangout Toolbox V2 Beta. That's what I have running right now.
yeah. So if there is an app on the left-hand side in the app panel with a green Hangout logo, inside the box. This is the developer version. It should have also like a developer.
Are we allowed to
sign
share
next to it.
that as a comment
Yeah.
on the video so folks will know?
Does.
Can someone do that if that's cool with Moritz?
Yeah, sure.
I've tried to share comments using this developer version, but when I click on the button, it doesn't show.
Yeah, you have to reload because I did some changes because it was like having issues with the profile images from YouTube.
All right.
Talk about a
So-
multitasker.
And above the app, you see like some additional icons, and there's like some reload button. You can just reload the app without reloading the whole tab.
Okay.
Moritz, can you help me get my presets back so I don't have to make them every time you do a release?
Unfortunately, not.
Please?
You know, I haven't
Okay, that's
lost
really
mine
nice.
at all. Everybody else
Okay.
is complaining that they lose the saved lower thirds, and I haven't lost any of mine.
Yeah.
Oh, when you do the switch from version 1 to version 2, you will lose them.
But I've been
Moritz,
on version 2 all along, the beta.
Now, once I deleted
I mean, I've been using it for a while.
Yeah, but
Wow.
once you switch though between versions,
Yeah.
it doesn't preserve those.
But I don't switch.
So,
well,
so
not
you
yet,
haven't lost
but you
anything,
will
Craig.
when the permanent one comes out.
Had
Yes.
you
Like
had you
everyone
set up,
else does.
yeah, the thing is, had you set up, Craig, a lower third in version 1 and then loaded version 2, it would not have been there anymore, a preset.
Right.
So
It may work, it may not work. I'm not 100% sure, but whenever we like change permissions or the scopes or something like that, it will probably create a new drive config file and therefore new presets.
So Moritz, HD Hangouts roll out for all Hangouts, not just Hangouts on air, but video calls. This is added by Pam. Pam, did you want to talk about this? Okay.
Yeah. What was the topic?
HD Hangout.
HD
Hangouts.
Hangouts for everyone.
Pam lead, and then Pam, what do you think about this?
Wait,
and then,
wait.
then
I
Moritz, and
added that?
it says added by Pam. Right here.
Huh.
It says HD. That was several beers ago, though. So we'll go ahead and move.
Several beers ago.
Yeah, let's go to
I have to
Moritz
say-
and see what or Michael Ellis. What do you think about it? And then maybe Craig, and then Moritz or whoever.
I don't know. I'm looking at it, and this is going to sound terrible or probably sacrilegious, but
Okay.
I don't see the difference. I can't tell. When Dan went to HD, I could tell there was a significant improvement to the quality of the video I saw on you coming from you. But when I look at, maybe I don't have it because I'm a Google Apps customer,
No,
because
because
we always
it's
get everything
different.
last.
It's different. See, I'm on YouTube Live. Now, the biggest problem I have right now is a latency between like my mouth moving and the words coming out. Same for
Right.
you guys, but I'm gonna upgrade. I'm gonna get a whole new broadcasting system very soon that will address that. But I'm on YouTube Live, not Hangouts on Air, and so I'm able to control like my throughput bandwidth. So right now I'm running 3,500 kilobits per second, and I'm doing it at 1280 by 720. And frankly, once I'll do 1080 once I can get a bigger backdrop, so that I can use this camera not at a digital zoom and it's at full 1080. So in my
So
opinion,
you're telling me that
yeah,
I'm seeing better quality from you for a different reason than what's being announced today.
correct. Yeah, this is
Okay.
not a Hangout on Air. This is a
But-
YouTube Live. This is
but-
like when the
to-
president does the when they do the fireside chats with the president or the first lady or whoever.
Yeah.
They're using it's not really a Hangout on Air. They're using a Hangout piped in just like I do. But and then a switcher, and then they're actually streaming it on YouTube Live. But when John Kerry, the Secretary of State, did his Hangout on Air, it really was a Hangout on Air. So, but there is definitely a difference, and it's also contingent on the quality of your uplink and your processor and your GPU and all that stuff.
So I haven't tried it. I did add the story, and that's only because there were no stories, and I went to search to see what has
What
happened
stories
over the
were
last week.
available.
Yeah. But so I can already, because I got this option tonight when I joined this one to adjust depending on my bandwidth. I can see that there might be issues with, just the regular Hangouts, not just the Hangouts on air, but, you got Grandma and Aunt Betty trying to do a Hangout with someone on Thanksgiving or whatever, and they have no idea what their internet connection is like, So yeah, we might need some more.
Well,
what do you call it? Tech support on that.
There's going to be there will be a lot of people that are going to have problems, but I think it's going to be more with their computer than the bandwidth.
Well, and so I have FiOS, right? So I have Verizon's FiOS, and if I was in the office, hooked up to the cable, like hardwired into the router, I would not ever have a problem with the speed. But I'm on wireless, and I'm in the casita, which is 20 feet away from the router, through 2 walls and the garage, and so I do have problems because I'm limited by that.
But if you look at their data sheet on what's required, it's not that much bandwidth, because this really isn't very high quality HD. Like Dan was pointing out, there's a big difference between the quality of this HD, now maybe they'll improve it, and the quality of YouTube live streaming if you crank it up. If you crank up those settings to pretty high quality. I did some tests, and I was getting really crystal clear video, and I could move my hands, and they were fast. I had 30 frames a second, right?
Wow.
Right now we're probably lucky if we have 10 frames a second. So it's definitely not there yet if people are expecting the kind of quality that you can get with YouTube live streaming. I mean, it's just not even
if
close.
folks want to see the difference, like Craig, wave your hand. We'll do it simultaneously here. It's I'm running at 30 frames. I mean, this show is right now. I can show you exactly what it's doing here. Ignore everything in the middle there. Look at the bottom right there. I'm running it at 30 frames a second, and then 3,200 kilobits per second, so 3.2 megabits per second. I don't think you could do that with. I don't know what a Hangout on Air is running, but I know it's not that.
It's not anywhere near it, and if you look at the specs, what they say that you need to have, you can see that they're not requiring nearly that much. So they're obviously not pushing that much bandwidth. So, but maybe this is temporary. Maybe they'll slowly ramp it up.
And what's bad is, Craig, your uplink and downlink is actually superior to mine, in where you are in Thurmont, Maryland. So it's not like you have crappy internet at all.
Well, no, I did the tests with my laptop computer, which isn't the best computer. It's like 4 years old now, going on 4 years old, and so it doesn't have the fastest GPU and CPU and all that. And I set it up in the living room, connected via Wi-Fi. So I'm trying to test the worst case scenario, right? My older laptop connected via Wi-Fi, and I did a YouTube live broadcast, and it was crystal clear, and it was 30 frames a second. I could move my hands. It was nice and fast, and it worked great. And that was YouTube live streaming.
And also, just to add a personal anecdote here, Craig, we did a simultaneous test today with a website. I forget what it's called. Who has the fastest computer.com or something, just for grins. And your computer outperformed mine by 80%, I think. Something like that.
Yeah, but that's not the computer I'm on now, though.
But still, I mean, if either way.
But still, I tested, like I said, I tested it with an older computer with using the live streaming, YouTube live streaming, and it worked fine. And I was connected via Wi-Fi. So we know that it's not the computer or the Wi-Fi connection that's causing this to not be as high quality. I mean, we've eliminated that from the equation.
Moritz, what do you think? Is this going to be addressed? Because I know quality is an issue, right?
The quality, the video quality?
Yeah, the Hangouts on Air versus YouTube Live. There's in my opinion, a significant difference, which is why we're using YouTube Live.
you always want more. You know, like we just got the 720p. You know, and
But
it took
what
a
I'm
while.
saying
You're
is,
always working on improvements. So stay tuned. Maybe we
Okay.
will increase the quality even more. But for now, we have to stick with what we have.
Now, Mort, let me ask you the question I put in the chat because I think this is interesting. There are a lot of people in Hangouts who will use VidBlaster, Wirecast, or like I'm using tonight, XSplit, and they will pick a particular resolution. And so, since Hangouts originally, you know, were optimized for 640 by 360, that's the resolution I'm sending to the Hangout tonight. Are you saying in your earlier comment in our chat that to get the HD, I'd be better off just using the HD quality webcam and not sending 640 by 360 as a virtual camera through one of those?
Yes, definitely. Or you increase the output quality of XSplit to 720p.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna do that, and we'll see. Thanks.
Now, what's the difference between XSplit and Wirecast?
About $400 bucks.
Two different pieces of software.
Which is better?
Hard to tell.
Relative.
You know, there's a
Wirecast
tool.
has-
Use for somebody that's an idiot.
Well, Wirecast has a bunch more features. It's like way more expensive. XSplit is a cheaper version. They have different CPU. They're differently CPU intensive.
Which one's more CPU intensive?
Well, the new
Wire-
Wirecast 5 that is being released right now is less CPU intensive. They're using X.264 now, and the people I know that are using it now. I just switched to 720p and XSplit, and I'm pegging my CPU right now, so I'm going to switch back.
Yeah,
That's
your
it,
quality doesn't look very good either.
is
Right.
5 out now, Bruce? Wirecast? Because I've switched. I mean, I paid the $500 or whatever for Wirecast, but I'm currently using the free Open Broadcasting system.
Right.
It's obsproject.org if you're looking for that. That's what I'm using right now for this show.
Well-
Because of the CPU intensity, it's much
Yeah.
better on CPU. Is Wirecast 5 out?
I know several people who have it and use it. Some who work for Telestream.
Right.
In fact, one who's going to get me a free license for Wirecast Pro because of some of the things that I do and demoing it to people. But my dad used to always say there's a tool for every job, and while Wirecast has a lot more features and things that you can do with it, a lot of people could get by just quite fine for what they do using XSplit Broadcaster. And I own VidBlaster Pro. I messed around with Wirecast for a while. But for most of what I do, XSplit does just fine, and it's $59 for a 2-year license.
What
Is it available for Mac?
Yeah, that was my
XSplit.
next question.
No.
I know Wirecast has a Mac version. Does XSplit?
No,
And
and they have no intention of doing it.
And Open Broadcasting software doesn't have a Mac version either. So Wirecast is your only option.
I guess for Wirecast 5, you need a new license, right? You can't just upgrade from 4 if you have a license for 4.
Every
That's
other
correct.
version that is correct.
What was that?
Because every other version they've upgraded me. You're saying I'm gonna have to pay more to get something that works?
I don't know. I mean, I have a license for version 4.
Normally it just every single time it's just upgraded me.
And for me, it says my copy of Wirecast is the most recent version.
Well,
Maybe
maybe
they're still
5 is
rolling it
not
out.
completely released yet.
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't think it's out. I think
Yeah, there's just going to be it's not going to be like VidBlaster where they kill you when they do a totally new version.
yeah, Wirecast does not have a history of that. They tend to. I think I started out in like version 3 or something. I forget. And they've upgraded, and I've never been asked to pay more to get an upgrade. So I think
All right.
I think we're covered. I'm hoping,
I'm hoping.
because I already paid $500 for a program I can't use because it's so
Yeah, on the
bloated.
website it still says what's new in 4.3, so
Yeah.
it's not out yet.
Yeah, I wish I could use my $500 program instead of this free program that is less CPU intensive. Because it is a full feature thing.
Yeah, but the Open Broadcaster thing is quite good. I was
It's
playing around
very
with that
good.
as well.
Yeah, it's got a lot of game. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I
I'm
love
just hoping that they get the Hangouts working good enough so we don't need any of this stuff.
WebRTC.
Just do it all in
please,
Hangout.
Kill the Google Talk plugin.
Well, if you want to like have different scenes, like Dan is doing it during his show, this is something hard to do with like a Hangout application and stuff like that. With like all the screen sharing and split screen situations and so on. Maybe in the future we will have that, but who knows?
There's got to be a way. I mean, you guys are making $12 billion a quarter, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be some way that you can hire a couple of Asian guys or something to figure this out. Let's make it happen.
But then you really have to get rid of this
We
round.
want it tomorrow, by the way, Moritz.
I know. I got it. Let me look at my. I think my Android show one is
Because even though now I have this like beautiful new comment overlay thing,
see, this is the Android
looks like
version.
shit with this round thing.
Look at this though. This is great. This is this is the Android show one we do.
Yeah,
And,
the Android show one is good.
Yeah, I gotta come up with but it's a whole horrific overlay issue. I mean, you know how it is. I mean, you obsess over one little corner thing and it's like, 7 hours to get it right. It's the same thing with this stuff,
I know.
People don't realize the amount of time that neither one of us has. So instead of this beautiful rectangle, Moritz should be in a rectangle. Don't you agree, viewers? But instead, he's sadly stuck in this circle to
Yeah.
keep with the Google Plus Week theme in beautiful 720p. So anyway, okay, so where are we? Let's
So
see
can
here.
we get back to the original discussion of this 720p?
Photos?
No, the frame rates, the frame rates and the bit rates or whatever it is. Why does there have to be a significant difference between YouTube live streaming and this? Does anybody know?
Can you repeat the question?
Why does there have to be a significant difference between YouTube live streaming, the quality that you get when you do that, and Hangouts on air?
Now I have no clue, but I'm thinking there are two different systems on the back end.
Are they still using video,
YouTube Live.
Moritz? Do we know? I don't want you to talk out of school, Moritz, but I know that video did a press release that was like a face-saving thing, and then Google came out and said that they're switching from video to something else for the Hangouts technology. And I'm not sure why. That's a fair question, though. Why is the YouTube live streaming functionality and quality so much superior to the Hangouts on air? Do we know?
Now, YouTube Live was created in YouTube. Hangouts is something that was integrated with YouTube. So I'm thinking there are two different systems on the back end.
Are they, Moritz? I mean, I don't know what you can say.
I'm not 100% sure about the technical stuff in the background, but I would assume that. I mean, for Hangouts, we now use VP8, and I think the YouTube Live stuff is a totally different thing with like the encoders and so on. And because you're doing like the whole encoding on your machine with like Open Broadcaster or Wirecast or whatsoever, you can produce a way better quality.
But why is it?
With Hangouts on Air? With Hangouts on Air, we just get the video from your webcam, and then we have to do all the processing, either in the browser on your machine, or on the fly while it's going to the web, while maintaining like good bandwidth usage, so you don't have like a 5 Mbit upload and stuff like that. And for YouTube Live, you have to have the a pretty good upload.
But you guys are Google.
It's all one company.
Well, what he's saying is that some of the work is being done on your local machine, and then also that you have a pretty heavy pipe that you're using to push that stuff up. And so I guess what they're doing is they're assuming with a lot of the users of Hangouts that they're not going to have that kind of bandwidth or whatever, or those kinds of capabilities to do it. So
Yeah, but with YouTube Live, you're having to have that big pipe because the YouTube Live is encoding three different quality streams on the other end, whereas a Hangout on Air, that's not happening. You're just sending one quality.
No,
So
that's not accurate, Bruce. Because I mean, it is and it isn't.
it is.
But you just have to send it the one quality, and then they take control.
Yeah, but you can't get that your best quality unless you're sending up enough bandwidth for them to create the two lower ones at the same time.
Yeah, but we had.
Why can't we go ahead and send it up though, Bruce? I mean, I've got enough bandwidth to send
No,
it up. Why don't we just send it up?
But Bruce, that processing is done on YouTube side. It's not done.
That's what I'm
locally.
saying. So we're talking about the difference in quality between a Hangout on Air and YouTube Live, and why you can't get the same quality. That's what the discussion is about. And where bandwidth is concerned, if you could have the same quality on a Hangout on Air that you have on YouTube Live, you wouldn't have to have the same size pipe, because a Hangout on Air is not producing three different versions, 480p, 360, 240p for people to use.
I think YouTube Live is doing the exact same thing, though, Bruce. I mean, if you watch this in the player, you can watch it at 360, you can watch it at 720, or what have you, right?
A Hangout on
480.
Air is in one quality, is it not?
No, you can watch it. You can watch it any way you want on the receiving end.
We got a comment from Moritz who's showing off his comment tracker, since we can't see it ourselves and use it.
Maybe we can.
Because my girlfriend lives in a village in the Alps, and we can never hang out because the audio and video quality is too poor. But Skype works great.
That's not an endorsement.
Let's ask him if he's talking about Skype video or audio. See if he can do a follow-up comment. And say,
Captain Euro, can you do a follow-up comment to answer Craig's question? Is it audio or video?
On Skype.
On Skype, yeah. Thanks.
So are we comparing apples to apples, in other words?
Right.
To use
Or
a term
iPhone
that Craig
5Ss to iPhone 5Ss.
Oh my God.
Right now, nobody
We
beats
will never.
Skype.
There's no escape from this Apple nonsense.
Right now, nobody beats Skype's audio quality.
I think you're right.
Zoom
Bruce,
comes close.
I'm
Audio
sorry
or
about
video?
that, but it's
Audio
true.
or video, Bruce?
Audio.
I think audio, yeah. I haven't tried video, but audio
I think
definitely.
YouTube Live beats Skype's audio and video quality.
But
as far as a
but
conferencing
YouTube
system,
Live is no small feat to accomplish.
well, what's that thing that CNN
It also
uses?
isn't a conversational tool.
What's that thing that CNN uses? It's by Cisco, right? Cisco something presence or whatever.
Yeah. Telepresence, I believe.
Yeah, and they'll put cameras in. I think the first time I heard about it, Mary Madeline and James Carville, an ironic couple, if there ever were one.
Yeah, for sure.
They had a camera in their living room, and they could do their CNN appearances right in their living room, and it was pretty good quality. I mean, it was like a lot cheaper than having to rent a satellite.
So
So
what's
good
the
for
next
them.
one?
Huh?
Next topic.
Yeah, no joke. Okay, so next up.
Well, let's wrap that up, though, before we move on. Basically, what we're going to have is we're going to have full 1080p, 60 frames a second,
That's not wrapping that
super
up.
high-quality video in all Hangouts by this time Monday night.
That's happening. Morris is on it.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's done.
Okay, so let's get back to photos. Um,
No, let's go back to
Hotman.com.
the Chromecast. We
absolutely.
didn't spend enough
Let's
time on
all
that.
let's have a big
Chromefest.
a
And
circle.
anybody that
circle
actually has a
cast.
Chromecast hooked up to their TV,
Me?
and now.
I do. I used it this
You have to
morning.
be honest. You have to shake your box and make sure that it's not still in the box like mine is.
Mine's still in the box.
No, my housekeeper borrowed mine, and I haven't put it back up yet.
Wait, did Pam hear that remark?
Oh God!
I'm just asking.
Just for no apparent reason. Okay.
Right.
So moving right along, so we don't get totally. So Morris doesn't get fired and we don't get banned.
Here's my Chromecast.
simultaneously. There you
Yeah.
go.
Hey,
There you
hey,
go.
let me tell you, I'm manning a booth at a big convention center in Atlanta the first week of October, and I'm bringing my Chromecast, and I'm going to demo some stuff and cast some of our marketing materials that we've uploaded to YouTube on a 39-inch Vizio screen that's going to be on our tabletop thing. So I'm going to use it mobile. We're purchasing internet service through a Cat5 cable. I bring a router. I'll have my own little wireless network there, and I'm interested to see how this will work in that setting.
Who are you getting the internet service through?
Through the convention center. It's a
trade show.
Yeah, it's a trade show.
What could,
Well, good luck. Good luck with that one now.
No,
what could possibly go wrong, Bruce?
Oh, I bet that's gonna work.
Listen, guys. Whoa! We've done this 2 years now, and it's awesome.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I bet it's
We
gonna
pay
work.
for it, but it's
no,
awesome.
all of the vendors are sharing the same Wi-Fi. What could possibly go wrong?
No, this is not Wi-Fi. This is Cat5.
Why 39 inches?
dedicated.
Why not 40, Bruce?
We get what we pay for.
It's going to work great. Just like the
It's gonna be
1080p
awesome.
Hangout on
He
air
should
that we're gonna do.
yeah, he could.
Look, guys, I create my own Wi-Fi network, and I hawk it out to people who are running around because they can't get Wi-Fi. They pay me $5 a day, and I give them the password.
That I love.
Pretty much,
Bruce.
he's pretty
That's
much
good.
all that.
Even Bruce has his price. Oh my goodness. Okay, so next up, is Moritz still here? Moritz is still here, right? Yep.
Yes.
All right, Moritz. Hangout Toolbox is our next topic. So tell us. Obviously,
Again?
we know what it is.
That really a topic in your list, or you just made that up?
No, Alan or somebody put it in
We
there.
already talked about it.
Are we? Okay, so
I can talk about it again if you want to.
should we talk about it again? Or are we done? Or what's the deal?
Did we
Well,
cover everything, Moritz?
Can you give us a quick overview of where you're going with it?
Yeah,
So
for folks
I
who
assume-
don't know, like you know, exactly what it's for, it's the thing that we use to put comments up, and it's the thing that shows like right there. You see the lower third from Moritz there. Is that an overlay or is that a built-in? Just
This one, this is a custom overlay.
Okay, so but it's done through Hangout Toolbox, so you can create your own PNG file or anything with an alpha channel, and if you don't know what that is, just Google it, and it's pretty easy.
Yep.
But yeah, Moritz, tell us for folks who are starting out and want to make their Hangouts on air look a little more professional. Hangout Toolbox is the go-to app that anybody uses. So tell us, basically give us what is it and what's coming in the next feature, and how do folks obtain it, if they want to use this to do their own shows.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know exactly what Alan's intention was because there are not any more details in our topic list. But as you said, I can give you a quick rundown of version 2 that is currently in beta, or actually still version 1 that a lot of people are using. So the Hangout Toolbox has a bunch of tools for Hangouts, which is lower third, which a bunch of us are using in here, or you can create a generic one like Craig Shipp is using it, or you can have a custom overlay like I do it. If you head over to, if you open the app, there are links to the documentation where it's described how you can actually create a custom overlay and how it works in detail. You can save your lower thirds as presets. Furthermore, we have volume control. Like if Craig is speaking too loud, I can just turn the volume down for him, or even mute him completely. And the most useful feature for those shows, like Dan is doing it here, is the comment tracker, which allows you to gather comments from YouTube, Google+, events, all in one single stream within the Hangout, so you don't have to switch between tabs and stuff like that.
Is there a way you could add a special button? I know you're a lot like Chi, where you don't want to add extra buttons, but is there any way I could have a Craig Shipp button where whenever he says anything, I could just hit a button and it would just mute him? Is there any way to?
We could do them something like that, yeah.
The Craig
That
Shipp,
would
the
be a very
built-in-
worthwhile feature.
That
worth
would be
paying
epic,
for.
wouldn't it?
Actually, we really do need that, because one of the biggest problems you have in Hangouts on Air is if the broadcaster or somebody else mutes somebody and then they don't know how to unmute themselves, and then they start talking, right? And nobody hears them, of course.
Yeah, so the volume control in Hangout Toolbox only applies for you locally, so I'm not able to adjust the volume for Craig for everyone in the Hangout. It's just for me, my personal setting.
Could you talk to Chi, since you're working at Google now, and maybe come up with a Craig Ship button so that it would only apply to Craig
I can't talk about
Ship?
any details.
Yeah,
we can't talk about future features.
we do need the capability of the broadcaster to be able to mute and unmute people in the Hangout, not just mute them, but unmute
Yeah,
them.
that's great feedback.
Yeah.
Hangout Toolbox. If you want to, there's Ellen.
Thank
so
God.
With version 2, we are working on a totally redesign, make it more cleaner and more like the Google Plus design. Get rid of some stuff that was in version 1, and it got kind of overloaded over time. So we are going back to the basics, write it from scratch new, and try to make it more simpler and intuitive to use. And the beta version is out there already, but without comment tracker. And right now we're working hard on getting the comment tracker done. And as I was showing it in here, we already made some good progress, and the overlays are working now, and they're looking quite good. But there's still some stuff to do, and we hope, it's not a promise, but we hope that we can push it out early next week. And if you never have used the Hangout Toolbox before, you will notice when you open up a Hangout, a new, or the app icon on the left hand side, where you have the add people and the chat and stuff like that. There will be now a prominent icon with a little flame on it saying, here's the Hangout Toolbox. And it's a recommended app for Hangouts, and you can just click on it and launch it. And otherwise, if you don't see that and you want to use it, you can click on the 3 dots and then on Add More Apps, and then you can find it on the Feature tab where it says Hangout Toolbox, and you can add it that way as well. Ellen, anything else you were supposed to say about Hangout Toolbox in that context? And welcome back.
Nope, I think you hit all of the items.
Because Dan said you put it in there. I don't know who put it in there.
I put it in there. I mean, I put it in there mostly to highlight the fact that it was now a featured app.
Oh, yeah.
But you covered, so.
The recommended app, yeah. I mean, we had a similar thing in the old Hangouts layout, where we had the apps bar on top, where we sometimes, were highlighting apps that were showing by default. And this is a similar thing now with the new design.
Okay, so.
And it's already working quite well. I mean, before I had like 5,000 to 6,000 users a day. Today I was at 29,000 users.
Wow.
So that's a huge increase of usages.
Now, does that mean everybody, like right now, if there's 10 people in this Hangout, does that count? That's 10 people using it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing statistics, Morris. Good for you.
Yeah, but once it's not featured anymore, it will drop down to like 7,000. I had that in the past. This number is, usually like people see that, click on it, saying like, oh, what's that? Okay, it requires some permissions. I don't like that. Cancel. Not using it anymore. So I'm tracking as soon as you open up the app. That's count as one usage, even though you're not using it actually. Still, if I look at the real-time stats, I have 167 using it right now, or opened it in the last 5 minutes.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, good for you for doing this, and
yeah, more. That's even more important that we can that we push version 2 out, so people can see the more attractive version of the toolbox.
And I really like the new comment. The backdrop, it's pretty and it works. And also, my only suggestion would be to consider that if some folks like Face the Nation and other broadcast television shows that are using Hangouts, it would be real cautious in the same way that Chi is. And I was joking with you earlier about, Chi doesn't like buttons, but and he doesn't. He'll fight you tooth and nail over a new feature. But a lot of the broadcast guys have, the CBS bug or whatever. So the less busy you can make it, the better. But I love the blue, the gradient and the whole thing you've done. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
it gives you a more professional look, and you are doing this Google Plus week and the Android week, and it already has a quite professional look. And with the old comment tracker, you had like just this simple gray background and the black letters, and it wasn't really fitting in the whole picture, and now we have like the banner and some like graphic elements in there, and that makes it like more interesting and more professional looking, and I hope that people will like it. I can already see the feature requests, like that people want to have their own backdrop or their own colors and stuff like that. That's maybe a thing we can add in the future, but with the initial release, it will be just probably like this one backdrop. But I think it works fine. We will adjust it a bit. Like when I figured out like your Google Plus logo on the live stream is covering some parts of the overlay, I will probably do some adjustments there, so to avoid that. But
Well, I think it's important to understand that every step of the way, we're always, continuously improving these sorts of things. So
right.
the comment tracker, when Gerwin first did it, didn't have this text overlay, and that was something that I brought in based on our experience on this very show. And now it's just the whole concept is incredibly popular to the point where people who are talking about the live Q&A app are wondering why it doesn't have that feature. So taking it to the next level is what you've done in the new, is what's coming up in the new version 2 app, and I think it's great. It's this continuous improvement that I think is important on every level, and that includes on the apps that those of us outside Google are building.
And also,
now we just have to find a way to like pull in the questions from the questions app.
Yeah. So let me real quick. You guys won't see this, but for the folks watching, I don't want to understate the importance of Gerwin's comment tracker. It's amazing. Here's an example. Like there's also a standalone version here, right? It's allmyplus.com/comment-tracker. If you just go to allmyplus.com, you'll be able to find it. But this is useful for so many purposes. Not only does it show you, like here we have the YouTube version, and then we have my post, and then the share, and sometimes we have like 20 shares of this thing. But it's fantastic. You can click on this button here to check to see if there's reshares, and then it puts all the comments in one place. It color codes them, so if someone were to it finds any comment on a Google Plus post or a YouTube the actual stream, and it's just fantastic. And it's so useful because we all want engagement from the audience, the live audience, and so this is epic, and it's such a useful feature. So I'm totally for it, and I'm excited to see that it's advancing, and I appreciate it because I mean, Moritz, this is you're busy during your day job, but you do this on the side, and Gerwin does the same thing, and God bless you guys for your efforts. So next up, we have this interesting comment we got from Gregory Lewis here in Front Royal. He said something interesting. He said, my 10-year-old nephew is on Google Plus and not Facebook. And I want to go to Craig first, and then the rest of you guys.
First of all, actually, he's not allowed to be on Google Plus. He's too young.
It's going to be awfully tough to go to Craig, and...
Okay. All right, so anyway, this is interesting because we've talked about engagement with Google Plus versus Facebook. And when Google Plus first came out, it was, billed not by Google, but in the media as, a Facebook killer or whatever. and then we saw a bunch of people come on, sign on, and maybe create a profile and then leave in June or July of 2011. And now we're seeing more engagement because of just the usefulness of the service. But what do you guys think? I haven't seen. I mean, I don't follow kids generally, obviously, but have you guys seen any anecdotal evidence of kids or seniors
Yes.
or
Yes.
Go
Lots
ahead.
of
Pam, go ahead,
seniors. I see lots of seniors. I have quite a large following of seniors. Like you mean in their late 60s, 70s and stuff?
Yeah.
There's plenty of those, and I do see some kids, and I block them immediately.
Well, what do you think? I mean, do we think that Google Plus is catching on in the same way that I remember watching a This
Well,
Week in
yeah,
Tech?
I mean, if you see that there's like teenage-only hangouts, and there's an awful lot of cutesy Facebook memes being shared and stuff like that, I do think that it's catching on. Absolutely, I see a different demographic.
I've seen a lot of questions that have come through the Google Plus help community talking about teachers who are trying to set up communities for their classrooms, and how the kids are then using what's been set up and kind of branching out from there. So I've seen questions like that and legitimate concerns about that. And as Moritz pointed out, technically and legally, kids under the age of 13 in the U.S. aren't supposed to be on Google Plus.
Do we think that it's? I mean, it's getting the. We've all wanted the widespread adoption. And Alan, you and I have disagreed on this because I don't want the silly, stupid stuff that I see on Facebook in my stream. But the other side of that coin is that you see what you choose to circle and follow.
Well, it's
right?
two things. One, it's you see what you choose to circle, and that's your choice. And two, it's that this reflects what's going on in the world around us. This is how people interact with their friends sometimes. This is how people interact with their social circles. And if you don't like it, pick another social circle. But I've long held two very strong opinions. One is that Google Plus shouldn't be, and I'm glad it isn't, this ivory tower. Google Plus needs to be what Google is, and that's offering something for everybody. And until it is, it's worthless, to be perfectly blunt.
And I'm just making a note here on paper that Alan Furstenberg says that he has some strongly held opinions. I'm just jotting this down,
The second, the second, and this is directly related to the comment, is that Google really, really needs to try and get ahead of the issue of kids being online. Period. And part of that is starting, is they need to do something about creating kids accounts.
But that's a legal issue, correct?
It is a legal issue, but it's not an insurmountable legal issue. There are ways that they can create kid accounts that are, that still fit within the COPA guidelines.
I think the issue.
COPA doesn't say that kids that kids under 18 can't create accounts and use them online.
Mm-hmm.
It just creates limitations about what organizations that allow them can do with that information. And I think if Google is in one of the best positions possible to create accounts for kids, to give the control of them to parents, and to rope kids into Google services past when they're 13.
That's just the thing. We're waiting for moderation for communities, let alone a kid account on a profile. I mean, that'll take a long time to implement, especially what's out now.
But it's
I
happening
mean, that
right
will,
now.
that will
like-
change a lot of core
Michael.
things that Google Plus does that would require some moderation on a parent's part or someone else's part, and that's not
The
even
best
available. It
example
will take a long
here-
time to implement.
But the best
I don't
example
think
here is Ben Moskalinsky, who's an adorable little kid, and he actually does a show. Ben TV is his page, and Oleg moderates it, and he does hangouts with other kids, and they're little guys, and it's awesome. I think it's fantastic, and
And
Oleg
to Oleg's
is-
credit, he makes sure things like, you know, that there is another parent around when they start it, that there are adults supervising this whole thing. That's great, and that's, you know, that
Yeah,
to Oleg's great
he goes
credit
the
that he
extra,
understands it. and he
extra
takes
mile to
responsibility.
screen to make sure everything's cool. You know, each kid involved, but he's an adorable kid, super smart, and shouldn't be excluded, right? But
Well, but
but
that's the thing,
Oleg's
Dan.
willing to take that time to do it right. You
Right,
know?
and Michael, I've got to disagree with you on some level, because we have seen that Google has implemented some of those controls and some of the limitations for people who are actually playing by the rules. And the issue is lots of people know how to not play by the rules.
And then look at the bigger picture too. Google doesn't do anything where they can't, I would say, get a benefit from it. Sort of get into
Right,
that
and-
mass. And I mean, advertising, collecting information on the person. I mean, it's a lot of.
There's a
and
lot
Google's-
there.
They're already in the. I mean, the area where everyone's all on them about privacy. You bring kids into it. That's kind of like, even make it even worse.
Well, but here's the thing, Michael. I believe that they can.
Oh, they can, but
Well, I
should they?
believe that they can, and I believe that they can do it relatively easily, given the infrastructure that they currently have in place.
I'm
also-
shocked you're saying easily. I am so shocked you're saying easily.
I said relatively easily. And I've been saying this for a little over 2 years now. So I do not, underestimate the difficult task. But I think it's also to Google's benefit to do so. Because there are at least 2 places where they could make a lot of money if they offered these kinds of services. Right now, the iPad is it is the thing that you get kids. And right now, parents are realizing just how much trouble they're getting into by letting their 4-year-olds have an iPad.
Yeah.
Pam's laughing at this. Her 18-year-old gets her into trouble. Can you imagine what the 4-year-old would do?
Is the answer to get one of these filtered like Kindle Fire ones? I mean,
Well, what I'm saying is you don't know, because the filtered Kindle Fire could still expose your credit card. That doesn't actually fix the problem. What I'm saying is part of the fix for the problem needs to be you create a kid's account. And you give a parent control over this kid's account, and you still let the kid be able to work in it.
Taking it even a step back, looking at the core relation, not only would they have to make a kid account, they would have to make a kid Google account, which will interact with all the different products all the same way, because they can't have.
Yes.
I mean, you say that's relatively
Yes.
easy? That is nowhere near easy.
I didn't say it was easy. I said it was relatively
That's
easy.
not even relatively easy.
You don't think it's
How much-
Michael, compared to a freaking Google paid apps account? Yeah, it's relatively easy.
What? No. Okay. I know we're aiming towards Google Plus, but if they have a Google account,
No, Michael, I'm not aiming it at Google Plus. That's entirely my point.
you're saying a kid Google account?
Yes.
Then they would have
Why?
to build out all of these tools that you're talking about into every different product, which
Yes.
each product. Come on now, you forgot who you're dealing with.
But that's what
They
they need to do.
don't even relate to each other almost already. Google Plus.
How are they going to verify age? I mean, these
But
like beer
Pam-
websites that say, "Are you 21?" before you enter, or confirm
Pam-
you're 18.
Pam,
That's a
here's
good
the
point, Pam, and I don't think they can.
Here's the
Exactly.
problem. Pam, right now, they can't do that. And that right now, any kid who wants an account knows exactly what age they need to sit to lie and say they get. What I'm saying is,
Alan, they say they're 100 years old. They don't put a realistic age in.
no, they don't. They know that. Well, they don't put an age in at all. They need to give a date of birth.
Okay, but my,
they know,
my
but they
kids have
know
had
what to put
accounts where they
But-
say that they're like 1,000 years old.
Right, but here's the thing. They're doing that now because parents are telling them, create this account. Parents are telling them to do this. Parents are telling their kids to lie.
You know,
And I'm saying, let's take away the incentive to have parents tell their kids to lie and give them the tools to actually do the right thing.
I don't see a gain. I don't see a lot of kids using it the way that Google benefits from it. I
Oh,
think
I
it's
do.
a huge.
I see a lot of kids using it the way Google benefits
I
from it
think
because
it's
I
a
see a lot of
development-
parents doing it.
The way Google accounts are set up, I think it's a development nightmare to set up a freaking kid Google account where they'll have access to all the Google products with one sign-in. Then they have to build in all these parental controls within each product, which
But
are
you've got
so.
that now, Michael. You've
What?
got that. They've already done that.
They've done
already
what?
largely done that as part of Google Apps.
They've done what?
Put in some of those controls. You've got employee controls. How is that different from parental controls?
I see where you're going with it, but they wouldn't beat Google Apps. Well, I see where you're going with it. I see where you're going with
Right,
it.
and
I
I'm
just
not.
don't see.
And you know what,
I
Michael?
mean,
You're
in the
right.
same
I'm
way
not,
that you have family, in the same way that you have Google Apps for business, why couldn't you have Google Apps for family, and limit the content sharing to within the family, and limit what you can get to because it's part of the family? I mean, that infrastructure already exists inside the Google development paradigm.
Exactly. And mind you, there are some big problems with going that route. The first is that Google Apps are, piss poor supported.
Pay it costs.
It
Well,
wouldn't have to cost, though. They do
Yes,
it
it
for
would
free
if
for
they want-
education.
If they want the Google Plus stuff,
No, they do it for free for education. They could do it for free for families.
could.
Could.
They could.
And-
I think
They
the
would get
benefit,
all those other eyeballs on ads in Google Plus.
And that goes
Well, no.
back to that privacy and security issue.
there's the thing, is you need to actually turn that off for under 13. There's
and
almost no
they
question
don't
about
benefit
that.
from that. They don't.
Well, but here, Michael, the place they benefit from it is in the Play Store.
Right.
Because now you'll have a case where you'll have parents who are willing to pay for apps. They'll have the education information for those apps, and they will directly be able to control the kids' apps from a separate account.
Plus, you can make a very good case that if you attract the kids to this space,
the parents will come with
you
them.
bring all the parents and all the grandparents and all the uncles and aunts and cousins. You bring all those people that are adults that do get ads.
You know, Michael, I've been saying since day one here on Google Plus, when they opened it, that they should have opened it for everybody. I said it was a big
Absolutely.
mistake when they weren't letting the kids in, and they may have missed their chance, period. But I can tell you another thing, they're going to miss their chance again because Apple is not stupid. And with this fingerprint thing, this fingerprint reader, there's already the writing on the wall because it's already set up so it can recognize up to 5 different fingerprints, right? So how hard is it going to be for them to set it up so that I can take my iPad and I can take my child and let them put their finger on it and they can go in, they can be identified as who they are, and then I can set up, everything that they can
A long
access and
freaking
so
time.
on.
A long time.
No,
Look how long it took to get
I guarantee you it's right
Look
around
how long
the
it took to get wallpapers. That's all I'm gonna say.
I guarantee you it's right around the corner. I guarantee you, and
Craig,
if
Craig, this-
Google doesn't pay attention, they're going to be behind the 8 ball again.
Craig, this is not a trolling question. This is a serious one. Does the iPad right now support multiple profiles?
I thought it did. I don't.
I don't know. That's not a leading question. I honestly don't know
I
the
think
answer.
it does now. I don't know. I can't answer that question, but I think
I can.
I think it does.
I think it does not.
I know multiple people. I know it can recognize multiple fingerprints on the new iPhone.
Right, but even recognizing multiple fingerprints doesn't. My understanding, and I honestly don't know. What I thought it was is that it still puts you into the exact same login.
It might. But again, like I said, I don't think
does.
they're doing it. I don't think they're doing it right now. But I see the writing on the wall that that's the direction this is all
A
headed.
decade from now,
No, I'd say probably 1 or 2 years.
Michael,
I bet you anything it's not.
Michael, I don't know. I mean, considering that it's only, considering that Jelly Bean got it in less than a year.
But look how fast Android's been going.
Look how fast iOS has been copying. Going.
I'm telling you right now, the holy grail is identity. As soon whoever licks that problem and solves the identity problem, that's going to get around a whole lot of issues.
Agreed.
Yes.
And Apple just took a huge step in that direction.
Possibly.
Questionable.
And just
Possibly.
mark my words, we'll revisit this a year from
As
now.
far
when
as
the next
PR,
iPad
they sure
comes
did.
out, and it's going to have it. And when they start rolling this into more services and being
If
able
they
to
roll
buy
it.
more things, and they start making it more mainstream, watch
Like
out
Passbook?
Google.
Like Passbook.
Just watch out Google is all I'm telling you. They're going to get blindsided here.
I'll tell you that I'm not a parent, but I will absolutely say that if I had a little kid, I would be torn. I'm a newspaper publisher, so I'm a First Amendment guy, right? I'm pro freedom of speech, but at the same time, I would be absolutely petrified of having a 4 or 5-year-old with open access to everything.
I wouldn't. The
boy, I
only thing
would.
I'm worried about having a 4 or 5 have open access to is my credit card.
You got a little kid. I mean, don't you worry that, how do you answer those questions when, I
Answer
don't know.
questions.
It was, I guess, when we were kids, we saw magazines and stuff, and now
Dan,
it's
my
right on a
parents
tablet.
took me through Times Square in New York City when I was 7 years old.
Okay, so you're a New Yorker.
Americans are way too hung up on nudity and all these different things. I mean, it's not that big an issue.
You know what? Here's what it boils
a
down to,
comment.
Dan. Here's what it boils down to. Go ahead, say that one, Michael.
The comment we have from Kevin Ryan. Having a Google Kids account would be hard, but it's necessary. And I think it would be hard as well. I know you see the apps as a start out to it, but I don't think.
Let me put it this way, Michael. I don't think it would be easy, but I also think that if they're not working on it, here's where I almost agree with Craig. If they're not working on it, they had better be, because somebody else is going to do it first. And I don't think it's Apple. I think it's Zuckerberg.
I think they're in the part since they put profiles in Android, but I mean, if they're going to roll that out to the main Google account, possibly.
They have to.
What's the age limit currently on Facebook?
13.
It is?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Really?
Wow. There's
There-
a lot
there are
of kids.
laws. No,
Yes. There are a lot of people
breaking.
breaking the law.
Wow, there are a lot of little kids on Facebook.
In the Netherlands, you have to be 16 to join any social.
Right, and I apologize. It's 13 in the U.S. I'm being
Yeah.
U.S. centric here. I'll admit.
I actually
in-
think
in
that
most-
16 is a good idea. Actually.
In most countries, it is 13, like in Germany or in most European countries. But in Netherlands, it's actually 16. And it's outlined in our help center what age restrictions are applying in which country. And these are legal requirements, so it's nothing Facebook came up with or Google came up with. These are like restrictions we have to follow.
Right, and again, the restrictions don't say kids under this age aren't allowed online. It says that any service provider or content provider or whatever who is providing data to kids under this age has to go through another set of hoops. And those hoops include not collecting personal data on them. It includes not showing advertisements. It includes a bunch of other things. And I'm not going to claim to know what COPA says they can or can't do. But what I am saying is that at some point, somebody is going to make a lot of money by creating online services that kids can access. And I think if Google is not trying to figure out how they're going to be one of the people making money on that front, they should be.
Netflix already is.
How are they going to make money? They're going to charge the parents?
But even more than that, the kids are on Facebook and they're on these other social platforms not because they want to hang out with other kids, but because they want to be like adults. They think it's cool.
And because they have too much time on their hands. If they had other activities that they were
and too
doing,
little supervision.
That's right.
But
If they had
seriously,
other
yeah.
activities that they were doing that were keeping them busy, then they wouldn't be into these nefarious things.
You
So
mean
it
like
goes back to
hanging
the
out-
parent.
Craig, you mean like hanging out in a hangout on a Friday night for 4 hours, like you and I are?
Absolutely, they
They
should.
could end up like us. The horror of it.
That's right. Absolutely.
But my kids went through this whole phase where they were on, I think it was called Network Zing or something like that. Then that wasn't cool anymore, and they all went to MySpace, and they were on that for a little bit. And then suddenly they heard about Facebook, and that was the cool thing. So they all went to Facebook, regardless of what the rules are, and they have to be 13. They said they were 1,000 years old, and nobody stopped them. So they were on Facebook long before I knew what Facebook was.
I guarantee they got a Gmail account. I guarantee they already do.
Oh, without a doubt.
So they already have a Google account.
Yeah.
Jody, how old are they now, and what are they on now? Are they on Twitter or Google
What are they
Plus or
on now?
Facebook?
I don't know what they're on now. Wait, I'm sorry, I'm laughing. My kids are they're like young adults now. My youngest is 19, so you know what I mean. Like they're well past the age where I have to monitor what they're doing. They've been, like I said, they've been on Facebook years and years before I even knew what Facebook was. So I think they were probably one of the first kids that were on Facebook.
Because I remember,
But it was their high school.
Yeah,
you must have been
a lot of
you
kids
must have
are
been a
on
child
Twitter.
bride, for God's sakes.
It was Immaculate Conception.
Yeah, or you adopted them, one or the other. You must have adopted two adults.
Nah, they're mine.
All right.
I remember.
All right, so up next is a new Google bar is rolling out. Alan,
Oh,
is this
here we
you?
go.
Who's this?
Well, I need to clarify, first of all, when we talk about Google Bar, we're not talking about the drinks that Pam has, that Pam and Michael
Darn.
Banks have every night. Or
Michael Ellis.
has every
Michael
night.
Ellis.
What we're talking about is that black bar that sits at the top of your screen that tries to redirect you to other Google products when you're in Gmail or Google Plus or whatever. That black bar is gone, or is going away if it isn't already gone for you. And I see this very confused look by Jody. Go ahead, Jody.
Yeah, why? Where did it go?
Glad you
It's
asked.
not gone yet.
Well, it's gone for some people,
I have it on one computer.
I'm an
I
apps
don't have it on
customer,
the
so
other.
of course I'll lose it later too.
if ever. Yeah, who knows? It's being replaced by, in the most intuitive way possible, by 9 square dots in the upper right-hand corner next to your bell icon.
Great.
Seriously?
Fabulous.
Seriously, this actually does make some sense, but it would be nice if they told people.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Why don't you like it, Mr.
I
Banks?
can't stand it.
Why?
Why?
Okay. One, because I'm lazy. So, I could go to Gmail, I go to YouTube, all just one click. Now I have to do an additional click just to go somewhere I want to. And the black bar was smart. If I had something
No, it
like
wasn't, but
Gmail
okay.
or YouTube, instead of opening another tab, it knew when I wanted to use the same tab to go here. This will automatically open a new tab no matter what Google product I'm using.
Really, Michael? I found the black bar utterly dumb.
I loved it.
I hated
like
it.
the black
I didn't like the design. But I could easily get everywhere I wanted to go besides Google Music.
I couldn't, because it was a pain in the ass. I mean, it did require a bunch of clicks, and I always wished that I could customize it. And it was a different layout in every product. Every product had the text rearranged in a different way.
But don't you read it? I mean, it's text. Don't you read it?
Yes, I read it, but there's still you still have I can always go in the upper left-hand corner to get to Google Plus, which was the only thing that was consistent across all of them.
I
I
don't
just
look
checked
for
that plus.
consistency. I gave up on looking for consistency from them a long time ago, so I've always read all the words.
But that
To
slows
find the
it
one I
down.
want.
And Dan, I think you need to wake up the recording one. Somebody needs to wake it up.
Mine. It was mine. I'm
It
sorry.
was yours? Okay, sorry, Jody.
Yeah, I
Um,
just caught it.
So
But it has to be
the other thing is, I mean, I haven't played with this yet, so I don't know if you're going to be able to do things like. Well, the other thing I didn't like about the black bar is I was always going to services that were in the more drop down. Why, it knows who I am. Why can't it, say, oh, gee, he's always clicking on photos. Maybe I should put this at the top of the black bar.
But this doesn't solve that.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No, it
solve
doesn't.
Right.
And that's that's one of the things that. Well, I don't know if it solves it or not.
I'm telling you it doesn't. And one of the other issues you had with the things moving around, if you click on new tab, you'll see plus your name, Gmail, and images. If you click on Google Plus, you'll only see plus your name. You won't see images. You won't see none of the Gmail or none of the other stuff either. You still got to go to the drop down thing, and they're all freaking open up in a new tab. And you still got the more tab to get to those same products that you're clicking more on. Now you got an extra button for that.
Well, that doesn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like the fact that I've got to be clicking on something else, but I can almost deal with it if they actually fixed any of the other problems, which it doesn't surprise me that they don't.
Now, one thing I do
Those
like
that
it.
those that like the black toolbar, why don't you just use the bookmark toolbar? You can do the same thing with that.
I
Right?
use that too, but I use that for the non-Google products.
Yes, I use it for my bookmarks.
Yeah. The one thing I do like about the new one is the design. I did not like the old black bar design. If they had these icons that they have in the grid, like laid out on the white bar, I mean that would make it better for me. I like it.
Think about
Well,
it
you
this
hover
way:
over
like you're quite familiar with this app launcher icon already.
Yeah.
You know, if you use a Chromebook, you have that exact same icon.
Yeah.
On Windows now, with the new app launcher, we have the same icon, just in like a bit more colorful.
Yeah, but Moritz, here's the
Even on your
problem.
Android, you have the same icon, just like with 6 dots.
Yeah,
that
but-
indicates like this is a place where you can launch apps.
Moritz, there's one problem with that though. That icon is also used in photos to get you back to the album.
Really?
Which is, completely
Which is-
counterintuitive. That,
Right. And like I said, I think the icon does make some sense, but I've already seen at least 2 people say, "Hey, what happened to my black bar? How do I get back to it?"
Can't they tell us?
And people tell them, "Oh, just go to those 4, those 9 dots in the upper right-hand corner," and they're like, "Oh, that makes sense. Thanks for
But-
telling me." This was the perfect occasion where they should have popped up a box saying, "Hey, your menu is new. Here's how you launch your various Google apps."
Exactly.
That's all it would have taken. But once again, the UI team at Google was out to lunch.
Where
And these are the same people, who won't make kids accounts.
Just one more reason.
No, I don't want the UI people making kids accounts.
Craig, what's up with your video? Why is there no
What?
video from you, Craig?
One more reason why people have to tune in and watch Google Plus Week at 8:30 or 8:45 or 9
Or
o'clock
at 9
Sometimes
o'clock,
live.
every
whatever.
Friday night. Because
Cra-
these are the pearls of wisdom that you will get live on this show. You'll be able to know where the dots are or where they are not.
Correct.
Craig,
I'm
what
curious
is up with
where-
your
where-
video?
And how
You'll
many
be able to
dots
connect
and how
the
many
dots.
dots there are.
Craig, you have
You'll
no
be able to
video.
connect the dots, Craig.
Are you guys seeing
Ellen,
Craig's
Connect the
video?
dots.
Ellen, where did you see this?
Out10.com.
Craig Ship, is your video on?
Yes.
Yes.
I can see myself.
Can you guys see Craig?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, but on the stream he's not visible. He's just showing the profile picture. I've seen that.
Yeah,
I
it's
see
weird.
Craig.
Actually, Moritz, you come up in the main picture, but you're in the film strip. It's just your profile picture.
Yeah, because screen share.
So everything's working perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you
As,
So,
as is so
Moritz,
commonly.
you're
Okay,
vindicated.
Moritz,
Yeah.
Moritz, can you hear me?
Yes.
Moritz is
Can
in
you
charge
see
of this
the
whole
screen
thing.
share that I have?
Yeah.
I
Another
wouldn't have
point?
known, Alan, if you hadn't pointed it out, because before the show, I was looking for the show notes, and the black bar was missing, and I thought maybe something was wrong. I have 2 laptops side by side, and on one laptop, I have the black bar. On the other laptop, until you told me where those little dots were, I wouldn't have known. And as soon as you said that, I'm like, okay.
But Jody, we need to be thankful that Google does things like this, because otherwise, why would people need to watch Google Plus Week?
That's right.
All right,
Well,
so next up, go ahead.
You're moving on to this really quickly, Dan. Are you trying to hide something here?
Quick Office is now free. This
Oh,
is,
yes.
for Android and iOS. I guess did Google buy them?
They're not.
I don't
It's
remember.
not just free. They're paying you to take it.
Yeah, if you use it. And
You should
this
actually
is
probably, this is probably better suited for our Android week every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. But we'll cover it tonight as well.
is this a dig at Microsoft?
This is not a dig at Microsoft.
I've seen people say that.
No, this is not a dig at Microsoft.
I have seen a lot of people say that.
No, this is not a dig at Microsoft. What this is Google coming up to Microsoft with a 2x4 and whacking them across the knees. That's what this is at Microsoft.
Now, is there a competing Microsoft app for Android and iOS that people could use instead?
There is. Office 365 does have an app for Android and iOS. Sort of. Kind of.
Sort of.
So the outgoing, pathetic, disgusting CEO, Steve Ballmer, is probably not going to download... actually, there's probably not a version for his phone, right? Because he has a Microsoft phone.
You know he has an iPhone. What are you talking about? He has the gold iPhone.
He has the gold iPhone?
Probably does.
I want a gold iPhone.
Everybody wants a gold iPhone.
I know, we've got
Well,
gold
now that
iPhone.
we know
gold
Craig
iPhone.
has one, of
No
course we do.
interest.
So,
Tell you what, not only do I not want a gold iPhone, I don't want a gold Moto X either.
I have a Chromecast, and it's new in the box.
It's
Gold
available.
Craig, you want a gold Chromecast. Gold Chromecast. That's what you want,
I
Craig.
got to tell you,
Crazy.
I was trying to edit something today. I walked by, and I'll probably share it tomorrow. I walked by this place, and there was some guy he had 30 chairs, and he was sanding them, and he was right next to an upcoming coffee shop in Front Royal, and the whole thing, all the interior trim was done in recycled pallet wood, and so he had these
nice.
chairs made of pallets, and I was like, this is so freaking cool. So I took his picture. I said, hey, I'm with the newspaper, can I take a picture? And then I was trying to type it on my phone. I was using I went to Drive and then opened a Google Doc, if that's what you still call it. And so I was trying to type it in, and I had to click here and click there. So I've used all sorts of text editing things on my phone. It's still not quite there yet, mainly because of the small real estate you have with a phone or a tablet, what have you. Most folks don't have a connected tablet. They have a Wi-Fi tablet, but they don't have one that you could use randomly on the road. So I've used Quick Office, and it's pretty good, but I've used it sparsely. Can you guys comment? Has anyone used this to any extent, like to write an important paper or something? You know what I mean?
I used it this week to get 10 gigabytes of drive free.
So it has a useful purpose.
Well, I honestly I
Which
haven't
2
figured
years
out
from
why
now
I
they're going to
want
send
it.
you a bill on, by the way.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I can't figure out, Dan, why I want Quick Office if I've already got a license of Microsoft Office on my machine, and I have Drive, and I try to use as much as possible. Try to use Drive native docs and spreadsheets.
Yeah.
I don't know why I want Quick Office, and I don't know why Google's.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's.
Why-
I'm
why
not
did
going to
you
lay
buy
out a
it?
newspaper
Here's
on
the
my
difference.
phone.
Here's the thing, Michael. Quick Office. What's the best way to put this? Drive, and I love Drive. I really do. I think it's a great product, but it is roughly the equivalent of Microsoft Office 95
in functionality.
in functionality. It is sorely lacking, roughly. And they're
Yeah.
getting better. I'll give them credit. They're getting better.
They're
Well,
getting
that's
better,
a
and they're getting
stretch.
better pretty fast.
That's a stretch. I mean, to give it that much credit, Alan,
But
because
here's the
you all.
Michael.
I love
but Mike,
Docs as
here-
well.
let me-
I love
can I
Drive.
finish for once? For God's sakes, thank you.
No.
But I mean, if you look at something like iWork, which is Apple's product,
Pages?
It's now available for Chrome. It's now, it's going to be. It looks like there actually might make a version for Android. Shockingly enough, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
What is that?
It's incredibly functional.
iWork.
Office?
iWorks.
Oh, I don't know
And
what it
And
is.
Pages is
Oh.
part of that.
And for everyone like Craig who is buying an iPhone after September 1st, they get it for free.
Hmm.
Everyone
Okay,
like Craig
back-
who wants to buy an iPhone but can't. In other words.
Well, Craig's bought it. He just, might get it this year, next year. Who knows?
Back
Yeah.
to Quick Office. I've used Quick Office for over a year because, like, back when I had the iPad 2, it was like the best editor I could get that I could actually use my Drive and my Dropbox and all that. Now, the editor is just as good as any other editor on iOS. The issue I had with Quick Office was the management. Getting things from one place to another, it was a little kludgy. Where I would download one file and I would have to drag and drop somewhere else, but then it was like connection issues. But overall, there's no difference to the editor to me. It works just like all the others. So I don't know why it's so Windows 95 when it's comparable to everything. It was the go-to app on iOS.
Well, I said Drive is Windows 95. I have not used Quick Office.
You said Docs.
I said Docs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I thought I said Drive, but yeah, I was referring to the Google file format one, not the Quick Office one, which I have not played with. I will admit.
But isn't Quick Office a Google product now?
They bought it.
But let me clarify. I lived in it before Drive existed on iOS.
Okay, and it's pretty good?
I wouldn't use it now.
You wouldn't use it now?
I use Drive. But it is pretty good if you're using a lot of different, what's the word, cloud accounts.
Yeah.
Like, you want to do Dropbox, Drive, stuff like that
But
in
what
one
about
place.
what about the functionality as a word processor?
It's comparable to all the other word processors on iOS. I can only
But
speak for iOS.
But it's not comparable to Docs. Docs is not as good.
Wait
That's
a
my
minute now.
understanding.
When you say iOS, it's not comparable to Pages, for example.
Now, Pages leave a sour freaking taste in my mouth.
Yeah, but Pages is pretty powerful.
Mm.
What you can do with it.
Yeah, sure on the iPad, sure.
Okay, so we all agree that I
That
don't know what the hell.
Chromecast is the bomb.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, $35.
If you want something to put in a desk drawer, just in case you might need it sometime.
All right, since Pam
That's
is
exactly what I
laughing-
was thinking.
Craig, I gotta tell you, I used my Chromecast just 4 or 5 hours ago
Me too.
to watch you
Talk
on
about
last
that
week's
more.
show. And I gotta tell you, it was absolutely trivial.
I'm sure
So
you got an
what-
ego
yeah,
boost,
well,
Alan,
I-
to know that you are indeed valued and missed when you're not here.
All the more
Let me-
reason. All the more reason to put it in the drawer if you
Right.
watch that kind of content.
Let me tell you something. The Chromecast, shockingly, has the best management. It's the best video quality I've seen so far on Netflix and YouTube.
I'll tell you what, you should try Roku 3.
I've
is
had
awesome.
Roku.
The most recent one, Roku
Not
3.
3. I had the one before the 3.
Yeah, the 3 is a big upgrade. Big time. I was amazed.
Pam Adger in Menifee, California, has a feel-good story she would like to conclude our stories with. And this is kind of neat. Can you screen share and show us what you're talking about, Pam?
No. I can't.
You can't? Like, literally you can't?
No. No, literally can't.
All right, you
Does
talk.
that mean it would be bad judgment to do it, or?
Yes, it would be
Yeah.
bad
Okay,
judgment.
that's what I
Okay,
thought.
so-
It's not. She's not unable to do it. She's just choosing not to,
All right, so
Yeah, I'm not going to do
Pam,
that.
go
for
ahead
which we're grateful.
and describe this.
Yeah, am
and-
I a little red?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, Yeah.
This is another reason. Back to our why people under 10 should not use Google
It
Plus.
seems
While we're on the
like,
show.
It seems like this could be a rating bonanza if she does it.
All right, so
There you
Pam,
go.
tell us.
Yeah.
I'm going to screen share
Oh,
while
thanks,
I'm
you.
good
Alan.
at screen sharing.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead, Pam. Tell us what the deal is,
All
and
right.
I'm screen sharing so folks can see what you're talking about.
So this guy saw this dog on Google. Is it called Google Street View? And turns out that this dog has been astray for like 10 years and just hanging out in front of this building. And he called the animal rescue, and it turns out that the poor thing had like tumors and ingrown dew claws and rotting teeth and all that stuff. And but
Is it
after
built
surgery, it is after some surgery and good grooming, the dog's going to be able to live the last couple years of its life, in total comfort compared to what it was before. So
So this guy
He-
Patrick
Pittinger,
Pittinger, yeah.
yeah.
So he just saw a stray dog on
Yep.
Street View, and in a map, and then went there, and then started bringing it food and water.
Yeah.
We have a comment.
That's awesome. Go ahead.
We have
Michael.
two comments. Go with that one first, and then the one from Michael Daniels, Mike.
Okay, so Old Chicago Pete says so. Craig hasn't used his Chromecast, and it's going in the drawer, and he hasn't used the fingerprint sensor, and it's the greatest security tool of all time.
I hate to correct a viewer, but I have used the Chromecast. I used it for one half of an afternoon.
That's not using it. You
And
can't
then
make
I
a judgment
reboxed
after
it.
half of an afternoon.
Then I
Anyway,
reboxed
next
it.
comment.
Actually, I could. I used mine and it wouldn't work.
Did you rebox yours?
I've reboxed it because it can't work. I was told by Google it can't work in what is my 80% of my living week. I can't use it, so it doesn't work.
This next comment from Michael Daniels says, my son has a Roku 3 and a Chromecast, and he loves his Chromecast better.
For him.
Woman who a Hawaiian woman whose name is too long to fit on a driver's license that I was going to do last week, but I think you gutted the story. So I'm going to make you pronounce the name.
Yeah, we all had to do it last week.
Huh?
We all had to pronounce it last week.
Did we
That's
do it
right.
last
It's
week?
your turn, Alan.
Oh, am I losing it?
Yes.
Here, let's see here. So this woman in Hawaii is
Okay, Janice. So what's the problem here? I don't get it.
I would like you to pronounce her last name. There
Like
actually
a lot of
is
things.
see,
What's
there's a
your point
phonetic
here?
spelling in the bottom here.
Okay, so you want me to pronounce John? Yeah, I can't even pronounce her first name.
Janice-
What are we talking about here?
Lokalani, and then
Ke'ihana I kaho a kaha, hiho le kea kahau na ele. That?
Wow.
He got it. He nailed
Excellent.
it.
He nailed it.
Alan,
I
be
pity
the
everyone
man.
tuning in right now.
So what's the problem here?
See, Alan's got that Hawaiian complexion going on, so he obviously.
Lives on Guam. He's not on Guam at the moment. He is actually somewhere in between Hawaii and Guam, having just picked up his Google Glass in San Francisco.
Aha.
Wow.
You got it. Good,
Good
for
for
him.
him. Good for him.
So I did a Glass hangout with him last night. He was thrilled, tired, but thrilled. And he is now on his way back to Guam with a pair of sky blue glass.
Can you share his first impressions? Did he share those with you?
Yes, awesome, I believe is how we put it.
Now, what's the difference between sky blue and the blue that you have?
This is sky blue.
Okay. So he copied off you.
All of the awesome people go with sky.
Yeah. Just like the awesome people go with gold iPhones. I got it. I get it.
Right.
And Chromecast.
And all the cool people circle George Cozy.
And you know how they all relate? Photos.
Absolutely. We got to figure out this apparently in the Netherlands you can't watch YouTube Live. I didn't realize that. I don't know if yeah, Moritz is.
And
I'm not
in
sure if he's
Germany
still
too,
here.
right? We see that from Peter Boat.
Yes, I gotta figure out something to do there. But
Justin, go back to Justin TV. Can't you simulcast there?
I mean, there's a CPU issue and a GPU issue, so it's complicated.
Well-
We
but-
got to take up a collection and get Dan a computer.
yeah.
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 Another computer and maybe a second internet connection. You know, whatever it takes, Dan.
He says that his internet connection is good, but I can't tell.
Well, I
You
mean,
know,
right now, I
Craig.
can't even
Craig.
see your
Craig will
face,
buy you the
Craig.
computer. All you needed is the.
I already told him I'd PayPal him the money for the computer.
They can proxy in to get YouTube Live.
Yeah, I think there's a scam way to do it, which we can't talk about officially.
I didn't even
Okay,
realize.
so let's go to the panel here. Pam Adger, as Michael Ellis shows us his beautiful Chromecast. Pam Adger, how
I
was
didn't
your
realize
week?
I had unpacked
Wow,
it
are we actually wrapping up before midnight?
Yes.
before 2 in the morning. Yeah.
Well, we're not done yet.
We
we
haven't
gotta-
gotten anywhere near wrapping up yet.
The
We
wrapping
gotta-
up can spawn a conversation.
This
We
is
gotta
the
finish
pre-wrap
this-
up, wrap up.
We got to finish this whole photographic topic. Pam Adger, how was your Google Plus week, or week in general, or anything that you're allowed to tell us without causing us legal issues?
Actually, this week was pretty good. My is it the auto backup or whatever
Auto Awesome?
disappeared? Yeah, no, the auto backup. All of my photographs and stuff disappeared, but they came back overnight. So let's see what else. It was Speak Like a Pirate Day, and I pretty much avoided all of that
All
by
social media.
saying thank God Google Plus doesn't have a pirate translator like Facebook does, and so no one tried that crap other than on that one post. Let's see what else. Got in some great discussions this week with Mark Trappenhagen and about blocking and muting and the differences and how they hurt or don't hurt your reputation on Google Plus. Doesn't seem to bother my reputation. About, I don't know, 600 or 700 people have me blocked. So
Are you serious?
oh yeah. Mhm.
Wow.
2 people blocked me today.
How do you keep count? How do you know?
Just over
She
2
remembers.
years, you figure 3 or 4 a week.
Oh, so it's just an
times-
estimate.
Yeah.
But how do you-
Okay.
How did you know the 2 blocked you today?
Oh, they told me. I'm blocking you, bitch. That's pretty much, definitive
That's a
right
sign.
there.
Yeah, that's better than a red box notification, I guess.
Yeah. So, yeah. So it was a good week. Nothing.
Honestly, why do people feel the need to tell someone when they're blocking them?
Right.
You just block them and move on.
It's the
Exactly.
last word. They want to get the last word in.
And because it's an act of vindictiveness and hatred, and that's what those people thrive on.
Yeah, but I don't care.
No, I know.
but they don't know that you
That's not the
don't care.
point. They don't
I
care.
swear to
that you
God,
don't
Pam,
care.
as much as
They
I may
think you
regret
see
this.
they think everyone sees the world the way they do, with a negative view.
Okay, as much as I may regret this, Pam, I'm dying to know why you were blocked in this case, in these 2 cases today.
Hmm.
Like you can be vague, but a general.
I disagreed with somebody. They didn't like the fact that I disagreed with them. I told them to pound sand, and they said, "I'm blocking you." I mean,
Now, how did
it
you-
really isn't like.
How did you suggest they pound sand? Perchance, is this
Maybe
related
it wasn't
to?
sand.
What kind of details are you looking for here? Jim?
Yeah, You know, I can
still
link you to
trying
the
for
post.
ratings.
I can link you to the post if you'd
Okay,
like.
so
That's probably the very safest
It's
thing.
naughty,
to do.
yeah. So
No.
For our 10 to
I mean,
13-year-old
And
viewers,
the real truth is I try to always have a respectful discourse with people on other people's threads, and I moderate my own posts, and I don't do anything on other people's posts unless I'm actively trolling. I mean, if I'm going out to troll, then that's all bets are off. But you know, if I'm
if
having
I'm
a
actively
discussion
trying
with
to
someone,
troll,
there are a few people that I troll, and you know, they're trolls, so
Yeah,
you know,
right.
it's accepted.
Have you
But
ever seen those kids' account? So many red flags. I'm telling you. Is a kid's gonna like circle you? There's gonna be like so many red flags gonna pop up in their parents' account.
the very second, so seriously, the very second that I realize that someone is under 18 and they're following me, they get blocked. I block them immediately. I don't allow anyone under 18 to follow me. If I find out, I block them. That's just the way it is. I'm here for adult conversations. I'm not here for kids.
okay.
But that's me.
Well, I think that's a very responsible thing to do.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not
post
joking
raunchy
around.
content
I think that's really
and
good.
I post raunchy content, and I don't want the you know,
And
I
that's
don't want to
not
have to
meant for
explain it.
children's eyes.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
All right, there goes our ratings boost.
Actually, they all left to go over to her profile.
Right.
No,
Exactly.
they're going-
It
it's
did a
A-
lot for Google Plus this week,
That was a
however.
viewer
just before we move on, it's ADGER.
Yeah.
For folks looking. All right, so next up is Michael Ellis. How was your Google Plus week, sir?
I had a good Google Plus week. My community, I'm happy to say, Language Practice Hangouts, went over 27,000 members this week.
Wow.
Awesome.
So we're very excited about that. And I'm sorry that Moritz left because Michael Daniels wanted us to speak German together for a little bit. I was going to save that till the end. But while I was here in the show, my new bookshelves got built in my apartment. And I was unpacking a box of books, and I found my grandfather's German-English dictionary in original Old German script. I don't know if you can see it, but this is the old German typeface that used to be used. He used this dictionary in World War I.
Wow.
And I have it. And in fact, I just realized it probably belonged to someone earlier in his family because it doesn't have his name in it. It has the name of Lowell in it, which was not his name.
Can you
So
elaborate on he used it in World War One?
He was in the war, and then he later became. He is an interesting man. He was in World War I. He was an Olympic athlete, a track runner, and he was a professor at Purdue University of agriculture. And I, of course, knew him long after all of those things happened. And he owned an apple orchard, and he traded, this is the last piece of this vignette, he traded a bag of apples from his apple orchard for a bearskin coat from an Indian, and I have the bearskin coat.
Wow.
So that's got a lot of fond memories. So I found my dictionary. I'm very happy
I'm sure
about
when you
that.
said apple orchard, you woke Craig up.
Yeah, it was an apple, that kind of orchard, Craig. Don't worry.
Holy crap! Craig is still here.
Yeah, he
At the
keeps-
very end. He's
he
almost
keeps
never
coming
been.
and
Yeah.
going. Yeah. All right, so
Wow,
Michael
cool.
Banks in Augusta, Georgia. How was your wonderful Google Plus week?
It was good. Now I want to point out that Craig's only here because he has to plug Hangout 10 real quick before he leaves. My Google Plus week was pretty good, but I plan on using photos a lot because taking pictures tomorrow at the zoo, like Columbia, South Carolina, and then Sunday we have an international festival that we have here
Ah.
where all the different countries come cook food and put on shows. That's something I'm sure Craig is familiar with. Yeah, and that's about it. I'll
How
be
big
using
a
photos
festival is that, Michael? Because I know like Augusta is where the Masters is, of course, but
mean,
is it a
it's
big
no
town or a
Masters.
little town? I mean, how?
It's no Masters, but I mean, it's the 33rd year they've done it, so I mean, it's been around a good bit, and they have a lot of country representation. Like, I think this year the host country is Korea, And like I had some Filipino food today. I mean, China is very popular. I mean, they got all of them.
Are you going to photograph it?
Sunday. Yep.
Cool.
Cool.
Which lens are you taking? The 70 to 200?
Yep, and flash. But I mean, and they have like they've gotten to the point where they do like different stages where they have like local teams and stuff do different events, and they take over the entire downtown area. They just shut it off.
Sure.
All right, so let's see. Next up is Jody Rains. How was your Google Plus week?
I had a phenomenal Google Plus week, even though I didn't get a gold 5S.
Right.
Yeah, but yesterday I was up in New York City, and I was rubbing elbows with the Chris Voss of the Chris Voss Show, Sam Levin. I just missed Robert Scoble, but I was talking to Thomas Hawk, and it was great because I've talked to these guys online forever, have been a co-host on the Chris Voss Show, and never really met them in real life. So that was definitely a highlight. And it's the power of social media. It's talking to people, feeling like you know them, and then when we met in real life, it was just like I'd known them for years. It was crazy. So cool stuff.
Awesome. My week
Really
was
cool.
good. I'm tired. My managing editor was on vacation, so I had to do that job, and I'm doing layout, and so it's kind of crazy. So I've been kind of distant and not posting as much. Probably a godsend to my folks who circle me, but it was good, and it's good to be back and see my friends here and stuff. I apologize for the late start, but it was all Craig Chip's fault because he was demoing some new Apple product, something about gold something. I don't even know what the hell it was, but anyway, hopefully I'll be on more on game next week. Alan Furstenberg, how was your Google Plus week, sir?
What happened to Craig?
Oh God, did I skip Craig?
Said best to last.
All right, Craig Ship. Well, Craig, do me a favor. Can you reboot or something? Because seriously, like
Yeah, I'll reboot while you
yeah, let
while
me
you
do Alan, and then
Yeah.
then you do yours because I've just got your profile pickup. So go ahead, Alan. Why don't you go first and
So
we'll
my
move
Google
from
Plus
there.
week was pretty good. I mention this every so often, but Sheila Dubois, who is an occasional panelist on this show, and I both participate in something called the Photo Scavenger Hunt that's organized by Krista Ray. Every couple of months she does this. She gives the participants 10 words, and we're required to take pictures that represent this word, however we choose to do so. And all of the reveals came out the past 10 days or so. And that meant that I could finally show the world what my photos were. And this time, my take on it was that I wanted to do everything through glass. So all of the photos that I took were taken through glass and then processed to some degree or another. So I'm going to share at least some of them right now with you. So, this was my photo for Butterfly. This is my interpretation on that. Popsicle. Star. Turquoise. I got very lucky that the one of the colors matched my glass, so I thought this worked out very well for me. And watermelon, and So those were.
That was watermelon Oreos. Did you see that?
Yes, those were.
I missed the introduction. Was this a photo challenge or something?
This is a photo challenge that Krista Ray organizes every couple of months, where she basically gives out 10 words, and everyone tries to take photographs and then process the photographs in a way that they feel best represents that word.
Scavenger hunt.
It's
That's
a
a clever
scavenger
idea.
hunt.
That's a clever idea.
Sign-ups for it tomorrow, or tomorrow, starting at noon Mountain Time. So if you're interested in taking part, go look for Krista Ray. She will be making a post at noon tomorrow, noon Mountain Time tomorrow.
Is there a
Did you
limited
win?
number of participants?
It's limited to 500 participants.
Okay.
So you got to hurry. And
Like the new iPhone.
Actually, we're told they only sold 10 of the gold iPhones.
That's probably true. That's probably all they were able to manufacture.
I think the
Michael
employees
Banks probably
stole
got 3 of them.
the remaining
So-
490.
But yeah, so if you're interested in participating, and I encourage people to participate, it's fun, it's a good challenge. It has certainly helped me up my game in learn more about how to do photo editing and photo processing. I think Jody, did you have a question for me, Jody? Okay,
No,
I
I
think you were-
was curious if you won with your pictures.
Oh, good Lord, I didn't even come close.
Okay. I thought they were very creative, by the way.
Yeah,
Thank
they
you.
were.
They were fun. I mean, there are a lot of problems with them, and there's a lot that I need to learn about how to do it. But it was a good first attempt for using glass in this way.
Oh, so all of those were taken with glass.
All of those were taken with glass, and
Wow.
in some cases heavily processed. I mean, the butterfly one was obviously very heavily processed, but all of them were taken through glass.
Now, this challenge, did everything have to be taken through glass?
No.
Oh.
Most of the people who participate are professional photographers,
Okay.
and they use their professional photography equipment
Yeah.
and their models and, Photoshop and Lightroom and the full suite of tools.
The fun
I-
stuff.
Gotcha.
I limited myself to using glass, and I originally tried to limit myself to using the Google Plus photo editor, the one that no longer exists. But I ran into some limitations with that, so I limited myself to using the Google Plus photo editor and PicMonkey. So all of those were done using purely cloud-based tools.
Nice.
It was a challenge. It was fun. But Jody, no, I didn't even come close to winning.
Well, I
The
think,
winning-
like I said, I thought they were creative.
The
So.
winning entries are not just creative, but they are gorgeous, drop-dead gorgeous photos and edits. I encourage people to go search for the Krista Ray photo hunt. I think.
Scavenger.
Yeah,
Scavenger
I
hunt,
was
thank you.
I was lucky enough to have one of my Google Plus friends participate, and he shared all of the albums as they came out. Third place and second place, and all through. I think it was like 10 days, right?
It's 10 days. There are 10 photos. I only did 5.
And so I got to see all of the I guess winners or the mentions or whatever, and it was quite impressive actually. The photographs are very intimidatingly impressive. Actually,
They are intimidating. I mean, and it's
Yeah.
amazing that I haven't dropped out because there's no way that I can produce them that well.
And Pam
But-
is not easily intimidated, from what I gather.
That's true. Yeah.
Craig
But-
Ship, I'm sorry, Alan, go ahead.
No, I just want to finish. If you're a photographer and this is the sort of thing you want to learn and to learn from, I strongly encourage you to sign up tomorrow because it is fun.
Awesome. Craig Ship, how was your Google Plus week?
Good. So while we're talking about content creation, I did a couple Google searches trying to find some information on the iPhone 5S and like some unboxings and some people's impressions and so forth. And probably half of the videos I found were compilations of where somebody like took some video clips that somebody else did and did like a voiceover on it, or took some stills and did like a voiceover on it. And I normally, when I create my content, I usually use my own photos and my own video clips and so forth, but I said, hey, this is kind of tricky. So I just went and grabbed some screen captures from the
So
Apple
Craig, you're
website.
saying there's something about the iPhone that's tricky, and that the iPhone steals its things from somewhere else?
There you go. And so that's what I did. I went
Did
and
they
I
steal
stole
it from
some,
Samsung?
Patent infringement.
So I went and I stole some screenshots from the Apple website, and I put right on there that that's where I got the images from, right? I don't know. I don't think they're going to complain or anything. We'll see. But anyway, I just took some screen captures and put them in line, and then just did a voiceover on it, put a little bit of music on it, and threw it up as my iPhone 5 review. So You know, if the rest of them can do it, then I'll go ahead and do it.
Absolutely. All right,
That's all I really did on Google Plus this week.
All right, we got
I did a show Monday night, hangout10.com.
What show
Yeah,
would that
Hangout-
be again, Craig?
What time? Is
Actually,
it starts
the
right
show-
after our Android week ends, right?
Yeah, and actually, the reason nobody watches our Android Week is because Hooping Live, hoopinglive.com, is on at 9 o'clock as well. Dan couldn't have picked a worse time slot.
But we were around before Hooping Live came out.
Absolutely.
Really? I don't think so.
I
Were
think
you
so.
really? You predated it?
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think so. Maybe. We'll have to research that. Dan also claims that he has the first hangout
There you go.
hangout on YouTube, and I challenge that.
I don't know
too.
if that's accurate. If I've claimed that, I'm not sure.
I thought you did.
I know that when you did your first Hangout thing, that mine predated it by a month, but then you tried to get me on a technicality.
Yeah, because you
Um,
were streaming on some other platform. It wasn't a hangout. It was some compilation of something.
Right.
I'm going to do 10 seconds of the Android show opening here.
I think we need to have Jody. Jody needs to take a look at all this and make a final decision.
I will do that.
There we go. And Jody, when is Tech Webcast? Just so people know.
We broadcast, we record it on Friday nights in the U.S. at 11 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Melbourne. And it's rebroadcast on Aussie Tech Heads every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Australia.
What's Aussie Tech Heads?
It's a network of tech-type programming.
That Brad would know all about.
It's in Australia. There's Aussie, as in Australians, Aussie Tech Heads.
And they can download it from techwebcast.info.
Yes, they can.
So with the exception of koala bears and
Which are very
Brad,
cute.
everything's trying to kill you in Australia.
Yeah, everything can kill you there.
Yeah.
I'd be concerned about the koala bears, too.
You think so?
Are they?
Some
They're
sort of
dangerous,
disease?
really?
I don't know.
Oh yes.
The slow lemurs have poisonous armpits, I think.
Oh my
The
God.
slow lorises.
I don't know. I saw somebody in Walmart the other day. I think had that condition. Folks, thank you so much for watching tonight.
Dan, we've
Yes,
got
sir.
one final
Absolutely.
thought from a viewer, and I have to say we always love our viewers. We're so glad that you guys send us these comments. Michael, did you have that one coming up? The one from Michael Daniels.
Sure. Final thoughts on tonight's show. Auto awesome your photos to 13-year-olds. Just don't use the black bar, but do use Chromecast in your gold iPhone 5C. But don't upset Pam, she will block you.
Oh, that's epic. That's epic.
Now, just to clarify, it's a 5S if you want the gold.
No, he said it right. He said it right.
I think the gold is the 5S, right?
You're missing the humor, folks.
It's
we get the
supposed
humor.
to be
We're
satirical.
going to analyze
Turning
it.
it all around, yeah.
Is there a misplaced comma there? Folks, Google Plus Week is every Friday at 8:30ish Eastern, 5:30ish Pacific.
Big-ish.
Our Android Week is every Monday night with some folks from this panel. Also, the amazing Nate Swanner from Portland, Oregon. And that's at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And I want to wish everyone watching a wonderful, epic Google Plus Week. And we'll see you next week right here